Call in to DWE Radio. Today, we love to hear your thoughts. DWE Radio is powered by Talk It Up Wrestling. Check them out on YouTube.
This is DWE. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back soon. Join us for DWE Radio.
This is DWE. Don't touch that dial. We'll be with you soon. Join us for DWE Radio tomorrow.
This is DWE. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back soon. Join us for DWE Radio.
What's going on? It's DWE Radio. The radio that's not on the radio, but guess what? We're on Spotify, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, and we're on X Live. Shouts out to everyone. Another great Saturday, a little late night afternoon. DWE Radio here we're doing tonight. I wouldn't say late night, but close to late night. So shouts out to everyone who's joining us. Thank you for being patient with us. Welcome to episode 22, American Glory Unleashed. We're going to be definitely talking about a lot of things tonight. A lot of ratings. What's good, CJ? Shouts out to CJ. Shouts out to everyone who's with DWE. Before we get started, let's give a couple of shouts out to the DWE team, DWE team on the board and everyone. Shouts out to all the crew members and everyone that's behind the scenes, and also everyone who does the content with DWE, and also who's on DWE TV. As you can see, if you're on X Live, you see the tag name, so you can see it from either page. See it. Shouts out to Greg. Hey, shouts out to our media manager person. That's the media CEO right there, man. He's be doing his thing, marketing, managing everything here at DWE. Shouts out to you, Greg. How you doing today? It's a beautiful Saturday, man. It's not pretty too bad from where I'm at today. It's been pretty hot, guys. It's finally getting around that summertime weather. So shouts out to that, man. I'm a little hot. We're getting close to the end of the NBA finals. Almost gonna get close to that NFL finals. We got 14 more weeks. But you guys, you want to join me on hearing some NFL talk, join me on Tuesdays or Thursdays where I talk about inside the NFL mind, where I give you news, trades, and a couple of bets and tips and stuff like that, and just give y'all my thoughts about who can win every week. I'm on week 4 right now, so almost halfway there. I think about time close to the season start. We'll be close to the season. I'll probably do 2 schedules at once. Start by probably close to the once the season starts, we'll get real close and start doing a lot of stuff of, maybe doing it 2 times again. Like I say, I know that Tuesday will get replaced with CJ's NFL recap, where it'll be me and CJ on there. Oh, shouts out to Cal, man. Yup, man. Look, if y'all guys have not seen the post, if you have not seen the news, Cal will be doing his show, his debut next week, Wednesday, at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be right after CJ's prediction show. So it will be a double header on Wednesday. Shout on Kyle's Queens of the WWE, where he will give you the full thoughts, breakdowns of everyone who's in that women's division. Don't matter if it's NXT. Pretty sure you probably touch on probably a couple, probably like TNA females, maybe AA females, because they're all under WWE, Smackdown, Raw. He'll give you his thoughts about what he feels about the women's division, probably some fantasy booking of what he would like to see. Hey, you love women wrestling, I suggest you go to that show next week, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the debut of Queens of WWE. He's got an intro I made for him, an outro, man, and he loves it, man. I'm so proud of you, Kyle. Can't wait to be in the show and listening to your thoughts about women wrestling. Join him and Greg on Mondays. They still will be doing the rundown on the Raw card, where they'll be talk about everything that's happening on Raw. That will go back to its original time. Thank you guys for doing that so early, because now they're back overseas. They'll be doing that at 6:00 p.m. They'll go back to their original time, 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Cal and Greg will be back on their show, back at their normal times. So shouts out to you guys for doing that. And like I say, our EVP, CJ, if you want to join him or subscribe to his YouTube, his EVP show. He does Mondays at 11:30. He does Raw recaps, and then Tuesday he does at I think that's going to be at 11 o'clock, where he does Tuesdays. He does NXT recaps, and Wednesday, like I say, next week he will be doing a double hitter. He will be doing Great American Bash and the Night of Champions card, where him and some friends will be predicting what who's their winners, who they're picking the winners are going to be on the prediction show. We always put, which I'm still the current champion right now, thank God. We only do it for the major ones. We don't do it for the NXT PLEs. We just do it for the major PLEs, like Saturday night's main event. All the ones that's like up there, the Summer Slams, Night of Champions, things like that, where we put up the DWE Universal title, and I'm still your reigning defending champion at this moment, and gonna try to hold on to that thing for quite some time. We do it for fun. Shouts out to all the DWE teams that do put in their predictions for that, man. Thank you guys for joining that. Like I say, enjoying CJ on Thursdays, where he does his TNA recap show. He will probably be adding something to that real soon, but stand by. Like I say, a lot of new things that DWE, we're exploring and trying out here at DWE. So join him for that on Thursday. That will be coming on at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. CJ's our nightcap, no pun intended. He's really our nightcap person on DWE TV. So you're up at late night, you trying to stay up and you're at work, man, I say, hey, tune in to him. He's on that late night where he'll keep you up for a good little hour just to wake you back up, man. So are you missing out on anything? Or you missed out on the show? Go to his recaps. He goes over every detail of everything that has happened on each show, no matter what show it is. And can't wait to see if he's going to add something new to those Thursdays. And if you want to join him on Friday, that will be the EVP's recap show for Smackdown. That comes on at 11:30, where he does give you his recaps of everything that happened on Smackdown. And like I say, if it's a PLE on that Saturday or Sunday, he does it. If it's on a Saturday, he does the recap for whatever PLE falls on that Saturday. And if it's a Sunday and it's a PLE, he covers that. Now, if it's no PLE on that Sunday, you get that scoops, EVP scoops, where he does give you the scoops and things that may be planned. If you want some spoilers, hey, go over there and check him out. Go ask him some questions about what the booking of what they think is going to happen. I'm pretty sure he'll give you the rundown of everything that's going on. That usually comes on around like 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But before his show comes on Sunday, you can join after the Slam, where he comes on at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He normally does interviews with the company that he does promotion for and commentary for. He's also a GM at the wrestling company that he does for. He's got a lot of great things. He did another interview this Friday. He does Fridays and Sundays. So usually sometimes if you see a show come on real early Friday morning, I say by around the 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's after the Slam. He comes on Fridays and normally he's on Sundays. He's coming on at that 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time slot. So shouts out to everyone that's on the team. Shouts out to Sports JADE, who's with us. Chemistry Lab. I still want to call them by their old name, but now they're known as Chemistry Lab. Shouts out to Chemistry Lab, Famous, and Nap God. Shouts out to both of those guys who are with us and their whole team who cover sports, wrestling, everything. They cover everything you want to do. I know Sports JADE. He's been doing the the NBA finals reaction, where you can go in there and he has the screen up where you can actually see. Well, it won't be the full like the game, but it's actually like how they show the little dots and all that stuff for all the plays that are happening in real time. It's a great show. I was in there watching the whole thing because I was working and I couldn't watch the game, and I knew everything that was going on. So shouts out to Sports Jedi, man. Shouts out to all those guys that's over there who's with DWE. And shout you guys, like I say, welcome to our show. And like I say, please give us a follow. If you are on the YouTube side, give us a follow on YouTube. We are on YouTube. That's Talk It Up Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe, like, follow. Shouts out to the 4 people who are out there listening to us or on YouTube, man. We need more people on YouTube. I know a lot of people don't like going to lives. I know y'all gonna come back later because y'all like, oh, I missed DW Radio. But guess what? If you miss it on X, go back over there on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. If you see some of those shorts, go give us any thoughts about the shorts on YouTube. That's Talk It Up Podcast on YouTube. Shouts out to everyone who's joining us on Twitch. If you're listening to us on Twitch on DWE TV on Twitch, shouts out to you, or DWE Radio on Twitch, whichever one you're streaming us from on Twitch. Thank you guys for joining us on Twitch. If you're joining me on my page, that's Miami the Great 305 on X, then you can follow me on X. Please find me on X and you can follow me, and that's where all your NFL majority time information will come from, most of my page. And I try to send out much information as I can on that page. Or you can join us on DWE TV, where normally, like I say, when we broadcast all the shows that I ran down to you guys earlier before my co-host just came in. And also give my co-host a follow too on X. That's Final Boss Baby CFO. That's 2 B's 1 Y CFO on X. Like I say, today we're going to run down a lot of things, guys. We're going to talk about a few things that we got going on in DW. We're going to definitely talk about Chaz Gable now new babyface run. It seems like we're getting OBA FEMI. He did win his next round of King of the Ring, but still is calling out Brock Lesnar. Liv Morgan did advance of the Queen of the Ring. Penta and Rey Mysterio had a 5-star match that I felt like Javon Evans had a surprise win of the King of the Ring this Monday. We're going to definitely talk about that. We're going to definitely talk about the CM Punk drama, the low ratings drama, and we're going to definitely talk about the comments that Road Dogg made on the Busted Open podcast about WWE. We're going to definitely bring up the Rhea Ripley injury. Charlotte Flair actually winning her round and going on to the next round of going to the Queen of the Ring. It looks like Jade is going for that United States title. I do want to talk to that about you guys and pick you guys' brain about what you think about that. And Jey Uso wins his match to get to the next round of King of the Ring, which was very shocking to me. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna get in deep talks about that. We're definitely going to talk about Cody and Gunther and Sami Zayn, because they are having a match this Friday, this upcoming Friday, where Sami Zayn is going to be the special referee of that match. So lots to talk about today. Before we start, I might check to my co-host. How you doing tonight? I don't think she hears me.
Oh yeah, I'm here, and it's not night. It's evening. It's 6 o'clock on the East Coast. It's not night, and it's a little bit earlier if you're on a different time zone. So wait a minute now.
I think a lot of people around 6 o'clock. That's supper time. So back in the day, we used to.
Oh geez.
When your mom and dad used to put you to bed, and it's time to eat that lunch and go to bed.
Man, the sun is still out.
Hey man, we say the same thing when we was little. Remember, say same thing. Hey man, mama, about to come in here before those street lights come on. Man, that was the days, man. See, that's how old I was. Telling my age.
Man, but yeah, shouts out to Miami for spending the last about 35 minutes giving out shout outs. Telling us was telling you guys where to find us, So for those of you who, still awake, he's saying add us on everything, add us, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Twitch. And hey, I'm not on Twitch, but I guess we got one over there. I don't know.
Yeah,
Follow us on YouTube, and of course
we
follow
actually
me
got two Twitch.
also on X. I think we got some on IG. Not quite sure. Because I don't go on that side of the world, but that's what I was told. Is that correct? I'm just HR.
We let the marketing manager handle the
Oh, okay.
IG
Well,
page that he do. So he does.
okay. Well, that's outside of my job description, but okay, that's not my job. But yeah. Also, but speaking of that, and the reason why I wanted to bring that up, not just to Surely Miami, but also, I've been absent from wrestling for a little bit this week. And doing other things, getting home late, working on my business, and
Business.
yep, and going to the gym and not actually, taking pictures out there and leave like other people out there and just using AI apps to make yourself look skinny. But but
That's the new age of what we
yeah,
live
I
in,
mean,
man.
hey, if you gonna do that, man. Hey, at least don't AI enough, you can't see your tattoos there, man. Those tattoos are distinctive markings. But anyway, but yeah, the reason why I bring this up is, because I'm absent for wrestling for this week. Besides listening to some very interesting things, I was the one who actually wanted to talk about Road Dogg. It was one of the things I listened to in this entire. I'm really excited to talk about that. For you guys. And
do you want to start off with that?
Yeah, we'll get into that. But the reason why I'm saying all this is because, with that being said, me looking for aftermaths or just recaps and good dialect of podcasts to fill in the blanks that I missed this week. It was actually a little bit more difficult than what I thought it would be. There's not a lot of good options on Spotify, besides what I call the pyramids of everyone, like, the Busted Opens and Russell Talks of the world, right?
Like
But other than that,
like that.
yeah, other than that, there's not a lot of smaller guys and girls on the Spotify side, and the ones that are not good. So at least the ones that I listen to. I'm not saying if you're on Spotify, you shit bad, but I'm saying the ones that I found weren't good. So with that being said, if you're looking for a good driving home in 5 o'clock traffic like me, you like wrestling, this is where you want to go. You want to go DWE radio on Spotify because we are probably the best small podcast on Spotify. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I'm saying that because it's true.
Okay, Becky Lynch.
Did she say that for real?
You're gonna say the Bleach Report said it, huh?
Yeah, Bleach Report said it. Newspaper said it. I think X News said it. I don't know. Google probably said it too. Google our name, it may come up.
I was trying to figure out last week, a couple of days ago, why we was getting requote tweet by Space Days. I'm like,
hey. Sometimes we gotta take measures to get people in here because a lot of you guys don't want to look for us on your own. Well, some of you do. For those of you who are new to the area, we gotta reach broader audiences. For those who like SpaceX, like to see wrestling.
And I know we're gonna talk about Busted Open, but shouts out to Mark Henry. Thank you. His birthday was yesterday, and he did like one of our tweets of him saying us saying happy birthday to him, and he took the time out to like one of our tweets, and we don't have that many followers on X, and he liked that tweet. So shouts out to him for doing that, man. We really appreciate that, Mark Henry. I love Mark Henry. This is what I do.
Yeah. I know Miami is a pretty big Mark Henry fan. For real. Miami loves the Hall of Pain. So
I did. That was probably one of my favorite gamers by him, the Hall of Fame. I'm not gonna lie, I really did. I did like that run that he did. I'm not gonna lie. I know you say you want to discuss a lot of things. I know you watched the interview. I didn't get the chance to find it about Road Dogg speaking about WWE, but give us the rundown. I'll just give you a little feedback of give us.
Man, what an interview. I think this interview should have went a lot more viral, should have had a lot more eyes on it, than what it did. But I feel like the reason why the interview didn't have all the buzz around it is because of timing, right? Because he left WB Creative a few months ago. He left actually before Mania, I believe. So I feel like that, now doing it now is it kind of lost that buzz. If he would did this interview back when he first left WWE Creative, I think it would have got a lot more attention. I think it's just the timing. Now I don't know if that's a thing as far as his contract. Whether to do interviews during a certain time period. The reason why I say that is because, as we all know, with Goldberg, he did a interview after his he did an interview before his match with Gunther, um, and he said that he wanted to talk about it more, about everything that happened with his final return. And he said, "I'll see you in 90 days," and then it never happened. So because he said that line, I'm like, well, contract, maybe, there's a lot of, NDAs in there. So maybe that's why in this case, Road Dogg had to wait that time period. I don't know. We're just speculating at this time. But yeah, the interview was on Busted Open, and it was Road Dogg. Everybody, how Road Dogg sounds. He's very raspy. And before we talk about the interview, we all know, who Road Dogg is. He's a son of Armstrong. We also know that he's been on WWE Creative for quite some time. We know he was part of the very famous clip of what was it? I think it's Uncut. And so, we had that famous clip of him trying to book the women's division. He's like, oh, I don't know. And in this interview, he really kind of like put into light what we really saw during the Uncut documentary. He said that he felt like WWE has surpassed where he wanted to bring. He said WWE, and he literally said it just flat out, like, hey, WWE is about making money. Like, they don't really care about, taking criticism and building a guy and building up wrestling. He said for them, it is just pure money. He said that he wants to go somewhere, to another company. He talked about OBW, of course, a lot of our famous superstars came from Batista, John Cena. They're going to have like a big anniversary episode coming up. And he talked about AEW as well, because he said, hey, these companies are looking to grow and to learn. WWE is looking just to make as much money as humanly possible. And he said that's what he felt. He said it wasn't fun anymore. He said that he really wanted to leave years ago, like 11 years ago. He said he wanted to leave, but he said he stayed because he was afraid of just not having a job and not be able to pay the mortgage for the Road Dogg Ranch. He said he was just so afraid of being unemployed. He said that he was just so built into it, from his father. And he just stayed because that's all that he knew. He talked about how, hey, he said he's a drug addict and a recovering alcoholic, and he also had to stay to pay to keep up with his habits, I guess. And he said what actually made him leave is that he said, he was once again just tired of it. WWE just not want input, just want it straight, just for money. He said, hey, he was only there just for money. And he said that he told his wife on the phone, he was like, man, I'm just tired of being here. I'm here to, keep the lights on. He says, his wife said, I'll live in a tent with you. And he said, is that easy? And then he just decided to quit that day and just be done with it. He said he's not done with working in the wrestling business. He just wants to go elsewhere outside WWE where they actually care about the wrestling. He said the problem with WWE is that, somewhere along the lines, they stopped caring about, the wrestling, which will make you the money, and they care more about, making the money and then just having the wrestling kind of exist. Like they put profits over just trying to build good wrestling. Like the whole idea of them existing, I guess, and booking wise and as a company is not to develop good wrestlers or to develop a good product. It's just to develop a product that is basically good enough to make money. Um, which is something that we've heard, you know, scattered around as far as, TKOs. And we heard that because of their actions. Like we know how ticket prices are super sky high. We know about how TKO was working on doing bans around cities that were holding major events. The WrestleMania can't show shows in the 50 miles. That was something they was talking about doing at one point in time. Um, we know about how much WWE cared about merch sales. That's why they pushed Den Houses so much, because his merch sales were actually so high off the charts. We know about, of course, the very new and very relevant and sad pay cuts, that they were doing 50% pay cuts and doing restructuring of a lot of contracts. Of course, that's how we lost the New Day, because they were, as far as what we know, the only ones that did not agree to that pay cut, and ultimately chose just not to take the restructuring contract. Um, and of course we know about all of the platforms that they're on. I mean, they're on cable, they're on Netflix, they're on Peacock, they're on ESPN. This is all a money grab, because they're grabbing uh from different companies and different platforms to get money, which costs us more money, because now you got to have the Netflix. Well, if you're in the U.S., I should say, if you're overseas, you just only on Netflix, right? But if you're over here in the States, you're paying for cable, you're paying for Peacock, even though they said they're doing Peacock, but apparently they're not. Hey, and you're paying for Netflix, then you're paying for ESPN. Um, because they want to have multiple sources of incomes, which is actually, is a good thing as far as business wise, because if one deal was to go ahead and fall, well, hell, we got like five of the deals. So, business wise, it's smart, but it also kind of shows you that window and the perception of them being very business minded and very money hungry. Not something that Rhodes talked about. He said they just care about making that buck. Um, and I thought it was a very good interview. He was saying, hey, I'm gonna let you guys go. He really just wanted to stay on and talk forever. Seemed like he was really happy to have an interview with Busted Open. He was really happy to be there. Comes off as a super, super nice guy. I know we all as fans kind of groaned at him a lot because of his booking of SmackDown, and now hearing this interview, and if you haven't heard it, I mean, make sure you listen to Busted Open. I listen to them to Spotify, but they're also very available also on Sirius XM satellite radio. But um, but everything he said made sense. It just kind of confirmed of what we already knew about directing the company. And now hearing his interview, it explains why his booking for SmackDown was the way it was. We all got on Raw Dog because the booking of wrestling, especially with SmackDown at one point was very unsatisfactory, for most fans. I mean, we all remember when we got the ESPN rating C-, D, Fs, and everything, and then they made him stop doing that. Um, but hearing that, hey, he was just there because he just needed money to pay his bills, and hey, it wasn't fun anymore. And hey, WWE only cares about money. That tells you the reason why that product was so bad on SmackDown, especially during his creative run over there, was because he didn't care. His heart wasn't in it anymore, and that reflects the product that we got on TV.
Well, yeah, and that's crazy because we're going to talk about the ratings of just not SmackDown, Raw too, because there has been a lot of reports about the low ratings. But yeah, with everything he said about Road Dogg, yeah, he got a real. It wasn't good. We knew that he was the person that was behind of writing most of those SmackDowns, which even when he left, SmackDown has still not been that top tier show. And I keep saying in my mind, I feel like it's lacks of superstars. But when you look around the availability of just if you is looking at other promotions, a lot of stars are already kind of like either committed to a um a promotion already. You know, your big stars are either they're already committed with AEW or WWE. So it's like ain't that much of you can pull this person or this person
Well,
will even come to you. I feel like there's not a lot of
well,
people
here,
like yeah.
here's the counter to that. You know, a number of years ago, I'd be like, man, you're 100% right. That's a great argument.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like now, 2026, I don't feel that way because all them
Really?
big stars that you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
are guys that were in WWE at one point. Talking about people like, your Jericho and your Mercedes
Yeah.
Moné. They already
Yeah.
ran
The
there. And
Moxie, yeah,
yeah, and yeah,
Swerve.
yeah, John Moxley and your Tommaso Ciampas,
Yeah.
right? Those are guys, who were in WWE. And
Mm-hmm.
the guys that were not in WWE, well, some of them have transitioned over and not going so well. A good example
Yeah.
was what?
Yeah.
Your Ricky
Yeah.
Saints, your Rusev, who was kind of back and forth, of course, WWE, AEW, now
Mm-hmm.
back to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And of course now, formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs, now known as Royce Keys, Blake Monroe, formerly known as Tony Storm. So I mean, so we've done that. I mean, we've gotten
Well,
stars that were new and upcoming stars, and they weren't stars when they came over. I mean, and
well, well,
that's not.
I think with a few of those
Mhm.
names though, when you look at it, if you say okay, there was some names there, but I feel like if you had like a let's just say if there was sort of like I'll do this like if we was doing football or something, like if they did like a certain trade, like if they did like a Will Ospreay for a Roman, I think stuff like that will shift the dynamic of both companies because you got you okay, we're kind of giving you a big star, you kind of giving us a big
Oh,
up and coming star, or
and here's where it gets controversial for me, right?
mm-hmm,
As good as Osprey is, he's known to be one of the best wrestlers out there.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, him, coming over to WWE,
It's a different type
the
of style.
yeah, like I
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
so
he
too.
would be more of he got the in ring and all that stuff. But as far as them booking him the way WWE product is, he would be looked at more of like Ilya Dragunov for them.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Because
I
they
mean,
think
so
he's like a high flyer.
correct. He wouldn't be that. He wouldn't be, you know, set to be that guy. So I mean, so this is kind of where we are. Look at how big Blake Monroe, when she was doing stuff in AEW. She was my favorites back in
Yeah,
AEW. I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
Well,
now
I
look at her
think just
now. I
because
mean,
of some
she
of the
just so
matches that she was
lost.
having with the people that she was having matches with, I like now it's and we'll get to like I said, we'll get to a lot of Smackdown
I
talk, but
mean,
I mean they've been
I
doing
mean,
it.
and then and
It's been like almost a month, and they're saying she's coming. She don't called out.
well, we don't. Well,
Um,
we don't even care about that anymore. Like no one even cares. But I mean, at least I don't.
it's
But
crazy. It's like you just
yeah,
gotta
because
get doing
he
the book thing, and that's it.
just
I
yeah,
mean,
just so such bad booking. And then when we look at other people, it's not just a WWE thing, it's also a AEW thing because remember Rusev was pretty big in WWE because he had two
hmm
good things, the Rusev Day, and of course the whole thing was Lana and Bobby Lashley and him. And
hmm
went over to AEW, man, it didn't
it
work
didn't
out.
do it. Yeah, it didn't work out.
Same thing with Aleister Black. He was pretty big. In NXT, went to the main roster. Wasn't that guy anymore. Went to AEW, really, well, kind of started off strong, but then kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah, it did.
simmered down. Then
Yeah.
came WWE, started off really good, and then real quickly, it kind of went back to being that guy backstage again. And then, of
hmm
course, then what happened? Him and his real life wife, Zelina Vega, got released. Another example of that is Andrade. Andrade was huge in NXT. Came over to the main roster, kind of basically lost his footing, and that's despite him at that time being married to Charlotte Flair. He was huge in the company, always been huge because it's Charlotte Flair. She's great, and her dad is iconic. It's the one and only, probably one of the best older guys out there, Ric Flair. Shut up. And um, and he went to AEW, and then his first year at AEW, and then he came out to WWE, and then it kind of didn't work out. Now he's back over in AEW. Right now it's working out, but it's gonna work out a year from now. Then don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he's such on a hot run. I don't see it coming down for this time. I feel like it may work this time. I feel like the gimmick is a much different gimmick. I love what he's doing. To be honest, for Andrade, I think if they drop the ball on this, I feel like AEW can only blame themselves because I feel like they got something with Andrade.
What people need to understand is that a lot of wrestlers now, when they, just because they're a star in one promotion doesn't mean they're gonna be a star in the next promotion. Every promotion, is different. And then you have people, that we looked into as being absolutely iconic. And I'm talking about Daniel Bryan. Like we love Daniel Bryan in WWE. He is one of the best technical wrestlers, new age, out there. And remember we had the whole Yes movement, and he got this major push. We pushed back one of my all-time favorites, Batista, to give Daniel Bryan that shine, the opportunity. And now here we are, decades later at this point, and he's saying the Yes movement didn't mean shit to him. He said another day at work. He said, "Hey, I was worried about getting married to Bree," and he said it didn't mean anything to him.
Well, is that because it really was organic? I mean, it came out of nowhere.
Well, he looked at it. Well,
I don't blame him.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing is that Daniel Bryan has exposed himself of being not the best good wrestler, but not the best person. And I'm not saying he's a bad person, but he comes off as kind of like passive, and I don't know. He doesn't come up as being the nicest. Not nicest. He doesn't come up to being the most humblest guy. Mm-hmm. And the thing with Daniel Bryan is that based on his statement, it's not because it's organic. No, the reason why it feels like he didn't care about the Yes movement because he doesn't look at wrestling as being like this, this high all be all thing. He looks at it as just a freaking job. Is what he looks at wrestling as. He just works there. I mean, most which is fine. But here's where it gets annoying: is that, and hey, if Daniel Bryan wants to come on the show, he can come on the show. But I mean, Daniel Bryan, you're out of the realm of what WWE likes to see in the wrestlers. Like, you're on the sort of side. You don't really have, the best build because you're not like this overly jacked guy. You know how WWE feels about having big guys. So you're small, tall wise and body wise, and then as far as your overall look, you have a very distinctive. I think Brie likes to call it more of a lumberjack man type style look, which is fine, but that's not the kind of look the WWE, at least back then, would want to put on posters. You didn't have that movie star, wrestler star look. I mean, you weren't that. And then you were a technical wrestler, which is great. That's the original, one of the original forms of wrestling besides Carney's, but also WWE. How they felt about having power moves and then having a whole division, which they called cruiserweights back then, which was high flyers. He kind of was like in that middle ground. So you weren't really that the wrestler on paper that they were looking for, and they knew that, and WWE, they didn't see you as being that top guy because of all the things I just mentioned. But the fans, they saw that you were a good wrestler. That you are a great wrestler, and the fans actually decided to rally against it, and it made WWE. And I don't think WWE want to do it, but it forced their hand to give you that push that we as fans thought that you deserved. for being a great wrestler. And to hear that Daniel Bryan just looked as, oh, I don't care. Well, maybe he should have said that, and maybe us fans would have known that. We wouldn't have rallied against WWE, and they would have just booked you right into the ground, like how they planned like they were gonna do, because that's what they were gonna do.
Yeah, they was. I think
So-
another question before we get off this topic is what are your feelings about Kurt Angle? Because I think for some reason Kurt Angle has come to my mind when we talk about Daniel Bryan. Do you put him and Daniel Bryan in that same category?
Well, the thing about Kurt Angle is that Kurt Angle is a little bit different. Kurt Angle is a way bigger guy than someone like Daniel Bryan. Kurt Angle had like a really interesting gimmick and stance because he is an Olympic gold medalist. He was the first Olympic gold medalist in WWE, so that's a big thing for them. They looked at accolades like that. I mean, they looked at accolades like, we talked about Mark Henry. Mark Henry, he won a lot of powerlifting competitions back in the day. And that whole world strongest man ain't just a thing. I mean, he won a lot of powerlifting. Yeah. So we had Kurt Angle, who was Olympic gold medalist, who had this nice big look to him. He had a very distinctive look, blue-eyed guy. Of course, he got bald later, but he also was booked for a little bit as kind of being the little comedy guy. I remember he had the little small little cowboy-looking hat on. He was doing weird stuff backstage. Correct. So he was kind of,
I still say it's one of his best rivals to this day. Him and Edge.
Yeah. So he was kind of doing a little kind of weird, quirky things back there, and it wasn't until like the middle towards the end of his career is when he really got that bigger push that him being known as with the angle slam and the ankle lock and all that stuff. That was but initially back right during that the Attitude Era time, he was booked to be more of a comedy style gimmick. But if you look at him, I mean, he still is a big guy. He is grounded, but he made it work. But then what happened is that he came back. Well, he did have some issues with addictions because of the neck injuries, and he went to TNA for a while. But when he came back to WWE, his last run was not great. I mean, he got retired by Baron Corbin. He's looked as being a legend, but
from what we hearing, according to him, he was saying he was requesting it be John Cena, and I was like, well, you should never told us that, because I mean, I would have rather it been that too, but I mean,
it made sense because John Cena's debut.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
We didn't know that at the time. I mean, it didn't come out to like around now.
Years later. Yeah. Years later. So I mean,
why y'all ain't do that? Y'all should have did that. I mean, I would think, and this was when Vince was in charge. I mean, Vince should have did that. I mean,
the technical wrestlers in general, for WWE, they have a hard time booking them. And we're going to talk about this later on, but look at Chad Gable. I mean, Chad Gable's been around for a long time. Of course, we remember him with Jason Jordan. And at that time, they were like one of the best tag teams out there. And of course, unfortunately, Jason Jordan got the bad neck injury. Yeah. Speaking of, Kurt Angle, you remember where they were going with saying that was his son, but neck injury. And then we kind of didn't get it. We didn't get into that. Yeah, we didn't get into that. But Jason Jordan also a technical wrestler. Now he's like a big, he's doing some backstage. We see him come out all the time. It looks great. But they have a hard time trying to book, these technical wrestlers. Look, another example of that is Gunther. I mean, Gunther's was a technical wrestler. He was booked very strong. A guy who retires everyone, and now he's like kind of back to being in the fold. But now he's kind of back, kind of in the main card, but like really not kind of in the main card because we got Sami Zayn kind of poking around. So I mean, because he's lost his place. I mean, we all heard about how they changed plans for Gunther, at the end, for WrestleMania. So I mean, that's another example of a technical wrestler being booked poorly. Also, of course, Chad Gable. Chad Gable, hey, we love the guy now, but when he brought this America, the American Grande characters to Raw and stuff, we didn't give a shit. But for some reason, it came off really, really big in AAA, and then we heard about it. Oh, great, it is great. But when he came over to and did it for us, we didn't like the guy. We weren't really super hyped about this character and about this gimmick. It got over somewhere else first, and now we like, oh my god, now we love it. So that shows you, like, hey, technical wrestler booking at WWE is hard, and when it's kind of on the same level as booking a spooky character. Of course, we got the great one like Undertaker, but when it came to booking, Bray Wyatt, it was great for a while, and then and then it really went sour. It became kind of a like, hey, where are we going? And I'm talking about Bray Wyatt back when we had the rocking chair, that. Then same thing with the Fiend, came out with, swinging all bats, it was great. And then, with constant booking towards the end, it kind of got, kind of annoying and boring, whatever. And then of course, I let him go. He came back and everything was great, but, and we were going somewhere and it was good. And then, unfortunately, he passed away unexpectedly. And then we had the Y6 and we were going super crazy because, we wanted to see, Bo Dallas continue what Bray Wyatt was going with the Uncle Howdy story and everything. And we were happy to see him back. We wanted to see Nikki Cross, because she did really good. And in that character, her character has been, not booked great from day one, but that's a different thing. But superhero one, what she wanted to do, which was crap. It was great at first. We all remember when they debuted it, right? Like on Raw, when they like killed everybody and everything. It was so great. And then, over time it became just not great. And what happened? They let the whole team go as part of the last round of WWE releases. So when it comes to technical wrestlers, like the way WWE books them, they find a lot of difficulties trying to book them like they do with three characters. And like it can be done, it can be done very well, but for some reason WWE has not found a way to actually do that. Now for Chad Gable, he got really lucky because he went to AAA and it got over so big. So AAA did a better job of booking his character as being a technical wrestler / a comedy gimmick, and it took off. So I mean, and that's really where we are. And like I said, Daniel Bryan, he can pat himself in the back that he wants all day. He deserved it because he is good in the ring. But WWE, he never saw him, to be that way. And if it wasn't for us, he wouldn't have that name that he has behind him now. He just wouldn't. Like, yeah, I'm gonna call it how I see. Your problem with the hair, often lines are open, but he wouldn't be that name that we know him as without having that major push. Another example of that, the last modern day example we had of that was Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, also great wrestler, but more of a high flyer. But WWE, what was the issue? They didn't see it in him because one, smaller guy, two, high flyer, and three, maybe because of a racial thing there. Because we know how they kind of play with his races and kind of turn it into something else. But because the fans were behind them, of course, we had Kofi Mania. We forced their hand on Kofi Mania, and then what did they do? They had him be beat in like 13 seconds, right? So they pushed it for a while to have him be in 13 seconds, put him inside of a group that was a comedy group, and guess what? The New Day got over, right? They were big for a long time, but what happened? The one guy who they loved so much for whatever reason, Big E, because he's a big guy, and probably was the most funniest guy out the New Day group. And when they found out that he wasn't coming back, they kind of booked him into oblivion, gave him a little bit light of hope when we had the anniversary, but then never followed up with Big E for reasons unknown. I don't know if they just, dropped it, or if he couldn't do it physically, probably physically. But when they found out he was actually, okay, he's retired, he can't come back, they offered a contract negotiation because we don't see you as these stars anymore. You haven't really had any great matches besides doing the Usos. And, because even though their booking has been terrible, Woods and Kingston are both very great wrestlers. They look absolutely amazing for their age. They took their contract and went home because they wanted what they signed up for. But WWE didn't see the value in them. They didn't see them as top guys anymore. I mean, so these are just examples that are hard to swallow because we love these wrestlers, but this is how WWE looks at a lot of these stars. You don't fit the mold. And I'm gonna say the last thing because I want to transition over to other things now. But LA Knight. LA Knight came in hot. Now granted he had a pretty much a reused gimmick from Eli Drake and TNA, but he came here as LA Knight in WWE. We all love the they're putting him in commercials. He's funny. He talks pretty great on the mic, but he botches a lot, and he's got this weird old school like tan on him, and he's built up, and he's also kind of short. And now they're booking him being more of a mid card guy because that's what WWE sees him. And he expressed his concerns about that actually a couple weeks ago. And then we saw, of course, that he's not going to win King of the Ring. Well, he didn't. He's not going to win King of the Ring, obviously, because WWE they don't see him as a main guy. They see him as like an upper mid card guy. And WWE came out and said recently, according to rumors, they feel the same way about Dragunov. They see him as an upper mid card guy. They said he's more of a I forgot the word they used for him, upper mid card guy / interchangeable guy or something. And a lot of that is because smaller guy. And the last example I'm going to use is Carmelo. I mean, Carmelo came from NXT really hot. They put him in the stuff with the Miz and really demented his character. Of course, injuries happen and things like that. But before then, when he lost the title. And then we didn't get the him versus Trick William match. Fans revolted against it. They turned on Sami. We were pretty mad because we wanted to see these two great African American males from NXT that were young and hungry and exciting. We didn't get that. But WWE, they never saw Carmelo being a bigger guy. I'm not talking about bigger physically, but being a bigger book guy than Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn was such a fan favorite, and they called it 100% wrong, and that's where we are now. So now they had no choice but to put Carmelo back into the whole feud with Trick Williams because the fans, pushing against it. They didn't want Carmelo. Why? Yeah, he's a young guy, but he's also, not a big guy. He's not big muscle wise. He's not big, taller wide enough. If he was about 6 feet tall and a muscular guy, they were pushing like OBA FEMI, but unfortunately he's not. And so WWE sees him as what? A mid card guy. And we use the term mid card here because they throw that around now as like a new term. Well, not a new term, but it's a more used term for WWE now. But the actual, thing with what these wrestlers are that I just mentioned because of their size, how WWE sees them, it's cruiserweights. It doesn't mean a cruiserweight, but I feel like we moved away from the word cruiserweight and we just call them mid-carders now. I feel like after they got rid of like 205 Live, they don't call anyone a cruiserweight anymore. They call them just mid-carders now. Because you don't hear them talk about cruiserweights anymore. We don't have a cruiserweight title, right? We have mid-card titles, which are your IC championships and your United States championships, but we don't have cruiserweight titles anymore. So because of that, we don't call them cruiserweights now. They're just mid-card guys who fight for lower level champions.
Yeah, we were speaking about that. Let's get into some of this low ratings about Smackdown and Raw. I know over the past couple of months and weeks, we've been getting low ratings for not just Smackdown, Raw too, that's been going on lately. We was talking about booking and old school booking.
You mean low ratings or low viewership? Or both?
Well, from what I read, it was the ratings are low. From what I was reading. They were saying
who's rating it? They say they can't do that anymore. They don't do the S and B's and C's no more.
People been posting it saying that the ratings been not high as they used to be. So it gotta be. I mean, they gotta be looking at something to judge of where they're at, even if it's viewers, they're still looking at it as well. When people put out reports are saying ratings, they're not saying viewership, they're saying ratings. So I'm guessing the ratings are low on Raw and SmackDown. You can still determine, because if you go on Netflix, it'll say, well, the number one show or the number one whatever it is on Netflix, it'll be at number 1 through 5. They'll have it up there when you go on there. And like you say, I think one of the most things we've been talking about here on DWE Radio is one of the things you have brought to light is so many different places you got to find this stuff, like and they're changing dates. I don't know if you heard the announcement about Saturday Night Main Event is going to be moving to Sunday on when they go to Atlanta in September. I think it's going to be on the 8th or something like that. Yeah. I think it's going to be like on the 8th. I think it's like the first week of September. They're moving it to Sunday, which is really crazy because that's almost close to time for footballs, but they can do it then because football doesn't start. It starts in September, but it starts late in September. So thank God they're doing it on that Sunday, because I think they're doing it because they know, well, hey, we're real close to getting into that football season. A lot of people will probably ain't gonna have much to watch. You'll get real close. I think the end of baseball, but that's until October. I think that's when people get ready for the World Series and things like that. So they don't probably have too much to worry about. But when I think about the viewership ratings or whatever, I feel like, and we've been talking about it, you know how big I am on booking Final Boss. And like we said earlier, you don't have few stars. And I think this can kind of bleed us into our next topic we'll talk about the CM Punk stuff too, because I know that's something that I want to talk about too, about the drama that's before everything came out now, because now we know the outcome of that. But I feel like that it's just the viewership isn't there because, I mean, they don't have the stars. Let's just be honest. I mean, you don't have too many people for Roman to face or Cody. These are 2 of your top champions. You don't have a lot of people for them to face, and then some of the booking is just not just dared for them. And as much as I love the Bloodline, I feel like there's something missing. There's something just not there yet. We'll definitely talk about the Jay win and stuff. With that,
I mean, here's the thing with the Bloodline. Before we get into the Bloodline, is that we were all excited because after WrestleMania, we got Reigns saying, "Hey, all that part-time stuff, put it to bed, and I'm gonna be," which he is there.
Yeah,
but looking at Roman, but looking at Roman now, and this is where Roman's gonna get mad, right? But Roman, all the things are there, right? Guy is tall. Guy used to play football. Guy is very attractive. Guy always been most of his life been most attractive, I would say, right? He was in such a sense of shield, right? Pretty damn good on the mic. Has a very different style character, right? It's kind of really nothing kind of like a Roman Reigns character. And I'm talking about both characters. I mean, I'm talking about Big Dog and Tribal Chief and Head of the Table and OTC. All right. But the problem though is that we had him have this really great run for 4 freaking years, right? Yeah. And it's like, remember before that, a lot of people weren't a Roman fan of him being a big dog, not because Roman didn't have all the things, but because the booking of it was bad. Now I liked the big dog, but it had, well, I won't say very bad. It had bad moments, but I like the big dog, right?
Well, I do agree with that. It had bad moments. I would
but most people look at those moments of being so bad that it's pretty much just shitted the whole damn run, right? For him as a big dog. I mean, but here's the thing.
Are they lying?
No. But here's the thing though, is that now we got Roman here full time. And maybe the reason why Roman was such a big deal was because he was a rarity. He had this kind of mystique to him where you didn't really see him too much. So when you saw him, like, oh my fucking God, right? He's here, he's gonna fight. But now seeing him a lot is like, is it because it's the Bloodline story missing something? Yeah. But the question is it also because Roman is not, as big and special as we thought he was. That now that we're seeing him a lot now, like it
I,
kind of
I,
reminds me.
I don't think so, funny, but I just think they got the
Nah.
stars. I
Well,
think the
you
stars are
say.
not just there.
Well, are we really okay? Well, here's you saying that because this is a big Roman guy, but are people really want to see Roman Reigns doing a meet and greet or appearance because
Hey,
he's
well, hey,
such?
yeah, you
Well,
see what
hold
they doing
on,
with then
I'm
what's his
speaking
name?
here. But is it because? He's so great, or is it because we want to see him because he's so rare that we don't get to see him? So when we do see him, like, oh shit, we gotta see him because we know next time we're gonna see him ever again. Is that
Yeah,
really what it
yeah.
is? Because
Well,
I feel like that's what it is with Roman Reigns. I feel like the reason why we look at him being as such a big deal is because his mystique and his aura is that he doesn't come around a lot. So when he
yeah,
comes around a lot, it's a big fucking deal. It's a main event. It's the event of events. So it's like, well, maybe Roman is not as good as what we thought he really is. Now, granted, I think he's pretty damn good in ring, but maybe he's not as big of a deal as we really thought he was, and we just liked him. Now looking at it, because he was just such a rarity. And if you want an example of that, I'm gonna have to use it again. The Undertaker. The Undertaker had this weird, mysterious gimmick as a dead man, and he came pretty
hmm
often. We would
yeah.
have Tony Long come out and say, "You're gonna fight the Undertaker," and we
Oh
still
Lord.
went
Jesus.
crazy because,
Well, was
well,
was that well was that because the Undertaker gimmick was
hold
so
on, no,
over?
no, no, well, correct. But hold on though, we still went crazy for Undertaker every time he fought. Not on the PLEs. We back to call them pay-per-views.
Yeah, back in the
Not, not because he was fighting on freaking SmackDown. And we went absolute bonkers for him every time. And
hmm
then what happened was as he got older and he kind of faded away, then we get crazy for him because, it was a rarity like a Roman. But he still had that same impact even when he was on TV almost every night on Friday Night Smack. On SmackDown.
Well,
For Roman, I don't feel that's the same. I feel like, and hey, Miami's gonna get really mad, but hey, I feel like if we had Roman, because right now Roman he is there a lot, but he's doing promo work, and then he saves matches for PLE, which gets in that mystique as well. But imagine if Roman was having a match on every night on Raw. So every Monday night on Raw, maybe having a match here and there on a SmackDown, and of course having a match at every PLE. I don't think he'll be that guy anymore.
well, no one's doing the Raw and SmackDown these days, so that's out of the question. But if he was doing it every Monday,
Mm-mm,
I feel like be honest, fun
mm-mm,
of all. This is me being honest, and I like you say, yeah, I'm a Roman guy, but he did
mm-hmm.
say he want to elevate this title. I feel like he did
Yeah,
that, and I mean, we know his condition. I'm not going to fault that because
I
hey,
don't. But
we got him
We're
we
not.
got him
Well,
every day.
see,
I
see,
think
this
we
is
only
where,
got him
see,
for one time.
this is where we got to move away. Cause like, see, now you're getting into schematics, man. We're not talking. See,
Well,
now this is where you start
well,
defending
you
him as
know
a
I'm a
Roman
schematic
fan.
guy.
He has a condition. Well, we know that.
Well, no,
Well,
I
hold
know
on,
that.
not done.
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying,
done.
like, if he did, well, I'm using that as if he did. Well, if he didn't have it, and if he did do that, I do agree
Mhm.
with you. That will one elevate this world heavyweight title. I do agree with that, but I
I
do know the
don't, but.
let's just say if he didn't have that, if he didn't have, let's just. I'm not thinking of cancer Roman. I'm just saying this is a healthy Roman Reigns, and I feel like if he did that with the PLEs, just Monday and PLEs, I feel
Mhm.
like Roman will be not just him. He would not just elevate that title. I feel like he will elevate just himself. I think a lot of people
Well, to be
when
honest,
they do the meme,
I don't think the title feels bigger now. I mean, he looks great when
yeah, yeah,
like
I do agree with that. Yeah,
he looks
I said the
great
same
having
thing
a
too.
title, but I don't feel like it feels bigger with him with
No,
it.
no, it
Honestly,
doesn't for me too.
honestly, I ain't gonna lie, and I ain't I like CM Punk,
hmm
I mean, I like CM Punk, but I wouldn't say I'm a CM Punk fan, but I do
hmm
like CM Punk because I like CM Punk when he had the long hair and he was in the newer ECW.
Straight Edge, Straight Edge.
yes,
Okay.
straight Edge Society,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
But had lip ring and everything, long hair, CM
Got
Punk,
dreads.
right?
Mm.
Right. But excellent hair, whatever. But I feel like the title was actually a bit bigger when CM Punk had the title, man.
Well, that was because you know why Punk was defending it every time. He was defending on Raw.
But
Remember,
he wasn't
he had a great
but he
match
wasn't offending
defend.
that. But he really didn't have much TV matches though, man. He really didn't. I
Well,
think he only had like two of them.
Did he do it with? I thought it was 3. Am I mistaken?
You gotta look it up. But I don't remember being too many.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Because I remember him and Finn. I remember he did another one on Raw. I think because I remember him and Jay did one on That's How He Won It, and then he did another one against Bronson Reed. I mean not Bronson Reed, but Braun Breaker. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I thought that was a television one. Maybe it was a PLE one. And it's one more person. I don't know why is it slipping my mind.
Yeah. Look at Google now.
I'm gonna look it up. As we speaking of Punk, let's get into the Punk drama that we got from over the week. Final Boss. We was getting reports. The reports came out from I don't know who the person was. It came out that Punk was a little frustrated about the booking of AJ Lee before WrestleMania. Things came out where he was about to get. What? Go ahead.
No, that wasn't it. So apparently
I
there's
don't
this
know. I
guy.
mean, I heard.
Well, yeah. I know this is like more of my segment. I think Miami's gonna do the segments more so for Raw because y'all know I didn't watch that. But
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
I did not watch that. I got home too late that day. But as far as the CM Punk rumors, for those who don't know, there's a guy on Twitter, and I forget his name now. I can't look at it now because if I look at it now, it's gonna kick me out of the live. But he had put out some things that he had heard rumblings on. And he said that his source that told him not to tell anyone, but he said, I'm gonna tell someone because he feels like WWE should take some accountability like that. And a lot of his concerns, some of CM Punk's concerns is valid. But what came out was, and he did do a Discord stage apparently, and then it went found its way over to X, and it kind of blew up. And so what he's saying that CM Punk is frustrated with WWE because one, apparently he was asked to take a pay cut at 50%. Apparently, he was at the Mania, they want a pay cut. Apparently, he also was trying to persuade AJ Lee to change her outcome of her WrestleMania match. He also expressed some concerns with booking as well, and then there was some other things, and I can't remember now because now it's been a couple of days. I have to look at my phone. But apparently, that was the whole gripe. So one, the pay; two, trying to get AJ Lee to change the outcome of her WrestleMania match, which of course we know she lost. And saying that he, wanted out of WWE. Apparently, he wanted out of his contract, and apparently, he wasn't gonna take a pay cut, and that if they were gonna force a pay cut, he was gonna hire lawyers to help get him out of his contract. So that was the gist of what the rumors were. And Sean Ross sat and his co-host said that they tried to verify any of this was true, and they're not saying it's not true. They're not saying it is true, but what they are saying, according to Sean Ross, sat with Fightful Select, shout out to him. Is that they could not confirm any of these rumors. Mm-hmm. And his co-host from the Wednesday Hump show did say that he has heard these rumors before in the past, but also could not get clarification if they were true or not. But he did hear those same rumors. So we're stuck with this whole Is there some truth to that, or is it not some truth to that? Because we did read or we did hear from sources, and we're talking about multiple sources here, that those pay cuts did not apply to those who are at the tippy top, and that's the words that they were using, tippy tops, WWE. So that means your big guys like your Roman Reigns and those along those lines weren't seeing pay cuts. They were more so for those who were, on the upper mid card and lower mid card guys. Because as we know, Nick Khan was tasked by TKO to cut millions of dollars in payroll, is what we recently found out. And apparently he did do that, according to them. But I would consider, and I think everybody else would consider, CM Punk to be one of them tippy guys, tip top guys. So I don't think he was part of that restructuring negotiation of contracts. As far as for AJ Lee, about her changing the outcome of her match, of course she lost to Becky Lynch. I mean, it looks like AJ Lee wanted to take time off anyway. I think she's listed as part-time. As we found out, it was reported that her contract does allow mental health accommodations, and a lot of mental health accommodations basically means time off. Because I know a lot of jobs, when it comes to ADA, mental health, it could be different things, but a lot of times they give you a certain amount of time off. I know some jobs for mental health would give you like 4 days off a week. 4 days off a month without any penalty, things like that. Basically taking mental health days is basically what they would give you, so it kind of makes sense. She also kind of gave really her, kind of her goodbyes-ish, on her way, after her last match, which I heard, she is coming back eventually. It's just she just done with this run. I think she did sign a multi-year deals from what we were under the impression that she did do. And of course, we heard speculation that CM Punk is supposed to come back during SummerSlam, but we also have speculation that there was issues with they didn't have anything for him after WrestleMania with creative, we're saying, but we're hearing no, that's not true. He's actually set to do some stuff during SummerSlam, I believe, with Cody Rhodes, and that he's just enjoying his time off. So with the CM Punk stuff, it's like, is it true, or is some parts that are true and it's not so true? We can't confirm it, but I mean, based on we know they were cutting people's pay cuts, people's paychecks. We haven't seen Punk in quite some time now. Granted, we know that he deserves a lot of time off. He was really, really full time during his run as champion, so we know he's gonna get some times off. We know that the next big PLE is actually, of course, SummerSlam, so we expect that to be pretty freaking loaded because it's 2 nights. And so I mean, so it makes sense for him to have that time off. But it also kind of jars me because remember the last time we saw Punk is we were getting this tease of him doing stuff with Cody. But then what happened? The last PLE and the Clash in Italy, we had Roman, well, not Roman. We had Cody kind of throw Roman's name into the title picture, and then we're still going through stuff with Cody and Sami Zayn. So it's kind of weird how they're giving Cody all these opponents, the Gunthers, the Roman Reigns, and the Sami Zayns, and we were supposed to have it set up for CM Punk. Because remember, it was initially with CM Punk, after WrestleMania, and then you started getting these other people trying to go for Cody Rhodes' title and having feuds with Cody Rhodes. So it is kind of odd, like when you think about those pieces that are like that. Now, granted, he can come back during SummerSlam like, oh, everything we heard was all shit. Ain't none of that shit was true. But right now, because SummerSlam is still a ways away, it's towards the was middle/end of August. But then again, here we are. Hey, we're in June, so we still got a month. because we still got to go to July. So it's still a little farther back. So we got to see now if he doesn't come back before SummerSlam or at SummerSlam. I don't know. It might be true because the next big PLE after SummerSlam is what? Survivor Series, right? So
Well, I can kind of tell that you haven't been online lately.
no.
I'm gonna update you on your little timeline. You're kind of spot on because and
Mm.
shouts out to, like I say, man, y'all had Sean the Fightful crew. They was working overtime because this was like a big story. It really was. It came
Mm-hmm.
out. Actually, he will be appearing July the 10th. I'm thinking it's July the 10th. They'll be in Chicago Fundaballs for a
Really,
SmackDown. Yes, he will
really.
be coming back. And WWE, they use that momentum like a quick because he's gonna actually be at the New York event where Roman and them are going to be at. I think he's going to go on another day because I think they're going to be there for 3 days. I think he's coming on the 18th. I think Roman and John are going to be there on the Saturday date. So I think Punk is going to be there a little early. But and they're trying to load up that thing really good. So shouts out to them on that. But no, he's actually going to be showing up I think it's July the 10th or one of those days in July when they're going to be
Is he gonna
coming
be
down
like?
for Chicago.
Well, hold on. Like, is he gonna be like appearing like on a televised event or like doing
Yeah.
like
He's
something
going.
else
They say he's going to be coming back. He's going to be. I guess they're going to start back. Putting him back in creative. And I think
On Raw or
no,
SmackDown
no, no,
or something
no,
else?
no.
Well, then,
He's officially going to be on SmackDown. So I guess they're going to continue the story between
with him. Well,
him and Cody.
Well, and here's the problem. So if they were to go ahead and do that, and they're going to do that just next month, you said around July the 10th. So
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen between so I guess we're throwing away the whole Roman and Cody tease that we got
No,
during Clash of Italy. I guess
that
we're throwing
rumor
away the
that
whole him and Sami thing too.
no, I think that the rumors are. Remember, they
Mm-hmm.
said that was never planned for the summer. Which I mean, we didn't know. I don't know whoever said that because that came out too saying it wasn't planned for the summer. But I was like, well, I didn't think summer. I was just thinking they teased that because I feel like, in as much as we want Roman and Raw, I feel like they're trying to make something be for Mania just in case, because the way, and I think that's why the Bloodline booking hasn't been, I wouldn't say not great. It's just been kind of weird. It's been a little like, it seems like they're trying to be really careful about the way they book it because they don't want to have no indications of, oh, we feel like the Rock is coming. You know what I'm saying? Just in case. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he will
Well,
come.
hey, man, The Rock ain't coming, man. When I heard
Well,
not Tony Khan, sorry, Ron Khan, sell the damn AEW. When I heard Nick Khan come out and lie and
oh
now
my
pull back,
God.
and now, hold on, he
That,
lied,
he was talking
pull
about
back,
WrestleMania
hold
though.
on, he lied, wait, hold on. He's saying that apparently
Oh
that
Lord.
Roman and Rock was never the plan. It was always
Man.
going to be a tag team match, which we know is bullshit because they
Yeah, we
teased
know
it.
that's
We
bullshit. Come
know
on.
that. But hold on. But the reason why I'm saying that I don't think the Rock's coming back is because the reason why he said that was to let us know we're not going to get a Roman and Rock match because
Yeah.
it was never on the table.
Yeah. I think he just did that just to, and like I say, the way they've been booking, I've
But
been sitting
even
back
so,
telling that like it
but the thing
seems
that
like
pisses me off, and the thing that pisses me off is that even if that, even if they change their mind on that, but
mm,
remember after WrestleMania we had the tease of, remember The Rock and Cody, because remember he said our story was just beginning. Now of course we
yeah,
did get a
yeah,
story.
yeah.
We got hold on, we got the story between him and The Rock with the final boss character and all this stuff, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
also, but the thing is that one of the things that The Rock talked about, is that he said the reason why he liked the Final Boss character is because he said when wrestling, when someone has a feud with someone, the ultimate payoff is at the end of the match. He said what he liked about the Final Boss character is he can be in those storylines and not have to have it in, not have it end with him having a match. So when I heard that, I'm like, that's I don't think he plans on having a match.
Well, I mean, I mean, you can do that if you tell the story right, Final Boss. I'm not gonna lie, I do like that. Remember, I said it a couple episodes. I think when we was doing Talk It Up podcast, when I was like, have them as that kind of like
Hey,
that
hey, there's a
mafia
talking
type
up.
of demon.
Oh man, wait a minute now. Wait a minute now.
I
Now
heard.
hold on.
I mean,
Hold on.
I didn't think.
Hold on. The
I'm
talking
just
up
really thinking
podcast,
that.
man.
I
Hey, we
think
gonna
that's
have
how
a
far
hard
back they.
time bringing
I
that
mean,
back.
well, when I brought it up, I can only think that's the only time I think I've brought that up where you can. Well, I suggested that same thing too, which I mean that works for Rock. And if you're going to go that direction, which I mean, you have to tell that story. I think a lot of people will still be upset that we didn't get that that match, but I think I would just be happy if he just comes every now and then, just pops up and just still establish that, whatever his character is. I feel like even if you did that, it'll still work. Um, WWE has to just book it right. I think that's one thing they have to do, and I feel like the whole
And
thing because when we're going to talk about it too,
hey,
here in
hey,
a
hey, and
few
one of the
about
things
the
that
Sammy
came
and Gunther
out
stuff.
is
I'm only
that
going to talk too.
Cena he said he's very moved his about the chance of one more match, and
Yeah,
he said we
I
did
remember
have
you
it,
telling me
but
that.
yeah, but he said if he did have one more match, he'll say it'll be financial suicide because he said he was charged like a whole load of freaking money. Which we know TKO ain't got right. So I mean,
But hey, no, they can't get the Rock. I'm pretty sure they can't probably get John. I mean,
well,
it seems like
is
nobody
it
want to
all
go to
about?
Saudi.
Well, hey, is it all about money for The Rock, or is it because he doesn't have the time to do have the physical conditioning for it? Because we
Ah,
know for Rock, we know for Rock, he was like training for like 6 months. We know for Rock,
I,
he
I,
was going through play by
I
play,
think
so it's
it.
a little different for Rock.
I think it's money though. He got paid a lot of freaking money for doing that too, though.
Well, hey, his money don't reach what they pay because hey, Pat
And that's
Mac,
what
hold
we
on.
said. We say the same thing. They ain't
Hold
getting the
on.
money.
That's not what I'm saying right now. I'm also saying is that hey, yeah, they paid him a lot. They paid him almost 10 million for his WrestleMania bill from October through WrestleMania, plus whatever he's making as being part of director of the TKO board. But he's the director of the board, but I want to say board member of TKO. I don't know what Rock talking
Yeah,
about. But
he your boss.
um,
Remember, final boss. He your boss. He
yes.
got them boss now.
Yes, yes. But also with that being said, is that hey, we had to return of Pat McAfee because for some reason Ari loves him. But after the fan backlash, he said he's done with WWE. Well, hell, he's making a whole lot more money. ESPN, ESPN offered him a new contract of
You talking about
$60 million.
yeah, you talking about
Pat
Pat McAfee.
McAfee.
Yeah.
Okay,
I did
well,
see that.
just to put it in perspective, nobody on the main roster is making 60 million as far as what we know. People that making 60 million as far as what is reported is like Nick Khan and them. They're like at $64 million a year. So Pat
Yeah.
McAfee is making what TKO and WWE executives are making.
Well, I mean, it's him. Is he? It's ESPN, man. I
I
mean,
know, but ESPN also the partnership with WWE. I mean,
well, that's
you
just
act like it's now
well.
two
That
separate
hold up
things. Now
now.
they still have a partnership with them.
Okay. That's like okay. We're partners with someone. I mean, are you gonna just keep lending them money just to lend them money? We gave you this money to start this
Well, and
app to go in there. Now you want some more money?
well,
I mean, what did you
and
do
with
with the
that
first
being
money we
said,
gave
they're saying that Disney is not too happy with is not too happy with
Exactly. I
WWE
mean, because
either. So.
in the booking has not been. I think because the
Well,
booking, man, the
first of
booking
all,
has been great.
Disney, you shut up because you guys were flopping like hell. That's why Disney Plus is gone, and you guys had
Is
to
it
merge with damn ESPN to even still be around.
is it Disney or is it ESPN that's having a problem because Disney
No, no, no,
thinking
no, no.
that it would be
No, the
more
report
eyeballs?
also no. The report also is Disney. It's Disney too
Okay,
now.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
apparently, yeah.
You know, ESPN. They love having those eyes because you see. I mean, look at the numbers they're getting just for this NBA Finals. I mean, they're in the billions
Hmm.
just for just a one play thing. Like they're very sports. viewership over there. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if ESPN said, "Man, hey man, they ain't thinking." They was probably suspecting those 4 years of what
You
Roman
know,
did.
well, here's the thing: is that we heard rumors about WWE not doing good financially, before the sale, and that's why we wanted to sell it. We
Mm-hmm.
heard about that, but we also are hearing now as part of this the lawsuit is that no reason why they sold it was a way to keep Vince in power because that's like saying
Yeah,
we're selling it,
yeah,
just to have them keep kind of shares kind of in the back.
yeah.
So hey, there's all these pieces to that because now we're hearing TKO is having issues money wise.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Like I say, it's good. We're gonna get pumped back. Like I say, W put those rumors to rest quick. I mean, those you seen the promo video of Pump being at
Well, I didn't see
the
that. So
fest.
they put it away quick for those who are on the internet. I haven't been
Yeah,
online
yeah,
now.
yeah,
I'm doing stuff for my business.
they
I'm
throw
busy.
that thing out there quick, man. And like I say, shouts out because like I say, a lot of people was not believing it. I kind of see because me thinking how it was when it first started. Pump Buster took a little time off because remember Roman was reported. Remember his schedule came out and he was reported to go all the way up to Night of Champions, but they was like, oh, it came out too early. He wasn't gonna come this month and they took it back and then I guess they went to Punk and was like, well, hey, could you cover probably for Roman because they thought Roman wasn't gonna be scheduled and maybe somebody made some more deals, maybe gave Roman some more money under the table to come those extra days and say, well, you know what, Punk, you done as much as you done. I mean, man, you really gotta take a break. We want you to spend time with your wife because hey, you did what you did. I mean, he had a great match at WrestleMania. I'm not gonna lie. He's looks amazing. It looks like he's got bigger. You say he got bigger because Roman called him old. I think he just got more in shape, more because he's gonna be on SmackDown. I think him and Roman, we probably won't ever see a match between those two ever again. But he's got big. I feel like if he has like another credible match, even if he loses, if he has that same kind of caliber match with Cody, that could do something for Cody too. Because I think Cody needs that person that's he needs a Roman or people could kind of really elevate his matches too. I feel like Gunther's not the guy to do that. Now I know they're probably going to throw, like I said, we're going to talk about him and Sami and stuff, and I'm gonna give y'all the guys my thoughts about that. But I just feel like Punk is going to be it's a new start for him on SmackDown. It gives us something new. I feel like they need that because we did talk about the viewership and the ratings being low. And I feel like they're just trying to make something be something. You got Punk on SmackDown and you're going to have Roman on Raw. And I think that's what the main thing is going to be about when you take a look at it at the end of the day. Let's get into a couple topics about Raw, guys. Like I say, we're going to get some topics about what happened this past Raw. If you did watch Raw, remember Raw did come on early. It was the last day of them being in Paris and Italy, which the Paris crowd was really great. So shout out to the Paris crowd. But we're back on regular time. But the first thing I do want to talk about is OBA FEMI wanting to be king of the ring and still calling out Brock Lesnar. He is still probably one of the favorites that's in this tournament. He will be taking on Dominic Mysterio this Monday. I think Oba is still that guy. I know a lot of us. I didn't think right away that Brock losing to Brock killed his whole aura, to be honest with you. I didn't think that right away because I was like, okay, they're 1-1. He won the first one. I think that um they ran it back and Brock did it. He sold for Brock good. I mean, it took 7 F5s to put the guy down. He said it in this promo. Over said it. I do like the way they're still pushing it over. It's not like they have took the foot off the gas with him. They're still booking him well. I'm just really concerned about how we're gonna do this next match. I know a lot of people are theorying that, and no pun intended, the Austin theory that they're thinking that maybe Brock is gonna show up on this Monday to maybe interfere and some kind of way dominant wins, because I'm like, well, man, how are they going to do this? Because Oba's been calling out Brock a lot, and I'm like, well, they gotta run it back at SummerSlam. But and CJ
Run
just
it
put up,
back, run it back, run it back.
well, CJ put up Crown Jewel, and I forgot, and I think he said Crown Jewel's in October. Let me look at the comments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
somewhere around
and they could,
October, November-ish time.
they
Yeah.
and I didn't think about that, and I was like, oh, could they maybe run the match and between him and Oba Femi at Crown Jewel, and then still maybe let Oba get all the way, and maybe do Oba versus Roman? I was like, that'd be crazy, but I just feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this. I really wanted Oba and Brock for SummerSlam, because I feel like that would have been more of a bigger platform for just not Brock, just for Oba too, because that's a retirement match. We would think. Brock is still, like you said last time we was on here, still looks like he's in great shape. Was running the ropes real well, and like I say, Oba's still a big star, still over. I like the way Oba has been doing his promos, still calling out Brock, and still saying he wants to be king of the ring. Final boss. You got any thoughts about Oba Femi's future, about either being king of the ring or still calling out Brock Lesnar? If not, we'll move on to our next topic for Raw.
Like about well, Oba's it's a little bit odd because like it seems like they want him to do the him and Brock stuff probably one more time. We assume it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a WrestleMania. I'm sorry, not WrestleMania. At SummerSlam, so that way Brock of course retired. But it also looks like they want him to be probably King of the Ring, and he'll probably be like the King Ruler or something like that, and then they'll have him go for a title. So it's kind of a play on both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, Funnaballs. It's gonna be really interesting Monday, especially now they're going back to the regular time. We will have to see when we get into the time. But speaking of King and Queen of the Ring, I was very shocked. Liv Morgan won her fatal 4-way this Monday to advance to the next round. We know that now she will be facing Charlotte, Flair. I think Charlotte will win this one. I was just really shocked. She moved on, but it's still a little tension going on between her and Judgment Day. A little stuff that's still teasing between her and Roxanne. I've been saying this. Hey, if you're gonna break them up, go ahead, because Liv does need some opponents to take on for her title. It seems like there's no one out there. I thought they was gonna do something between her and Becky Lynch. Maybe doing some kind of angle where you could maybe start a little feud there, because it seems like Stephanie Valkyrie is still not ready to return. I'm really surprised. To be honest, Final Balls, I don't see a lot of fans. Really seem like she's been missing, to be honest. And that kind of worries me. I think she will have to probably come
Wait,
back.
who we talking about right now?
Stephanie Valkyrie and Liv Morgan. Do you think they're going to run it
Oh
back?
man, yeah, because that's what she left off at. So yeah, they are.
Okay, yeah, because like I said, I know Liv. She did advance to the next round. She supposed to take on Charlotte. Like I said, I have Charlotte winning this one. Maybe some type of angle where they do right after the match where Liv and the Judgment Day girls, maybe are still bickering, because now her and Roxanne will probably be losing by then, and maybe they'll do something with that. I don't know. We'll have to see, Final Boss. Like I say, Liv Morgan needs someone to face, because she has not had no opponents since Stephanie Valkyrie has actually left, and they have not set up no more feuds for her for quite some time. Any last thoughts about Liv Morgan before we move on to the next topic of Raw, Final Boss?
No.
No.
Mhm.
Speaking of a 5-star match, Penta and Rey Mysterio, man. Oh man, for the IC title match. I know we had our doubts about this. We talked about it last week on the DWE Radio episode 21. But I felt like the bill wasn't there, but the match was actually good, Fine Boss. Shouts out to Penta and Rey Mysterio having a great match. Rusev Ethan Page seems like they're teaming those two guys up, which is quite interesting. Came out, did a beat down on Penta and Rey Mysterio, and I don't know if you've seen this, but Rusev actually took this mask off of Rey, and Penta and Rey Phoenix did cover Rey Mysterio up with the towel, and Chad Gable came out with the save, which we'll speak about Chad Gable here in a few. But like I said, I love the match. It was a great match. We did get these guys first time on the WWE. They actually face each other. They have actually faced each other before on the indie scenes. But like I said, it was a great match, Final Boss. Give us your thoughts about a great match, and we'll give everyone our thoughts about what they're finna do with Chad Gable. Uh-oh, did I lose Final Boss? Maybe she didn't have no thoughts about Rey Mysterio and Penta? You there, Final Boss?
Yeah, I'm here. No, it was a great match. As far, as where we're going, we talked about, where we're going with it. And it looks like they're gonna have this whole thing was gonna lead to like mass reveal and all these like weird things kind of go on. But it's kind of a weird place to go to where we just had a mass versus mass. Of course, that's a more gimmicky over there in AAA. And of course, Rey Mysterio is more, he's actually a true luchador, so it's more sacred. So it's kind of weird that here we are going to this. Originally I thought it was gonna be a whole thing between Rey Mysterio and Penta, but now it looks like the whole point of this story now is to really have we had the mask being removed, but I think it has more to do with a story between Rey and Chad Gable, because at the end of that, we had Rey Mysterio tell Chad Gable had there were some wrongs that you did to people before you put before you put that mask on. Because we're talking about American Alpha, maybe American Made, whoever they are. The damn Tozawa, Otis, and Maxine, who's not with them anymore. But I guess they're gonna have this whole thing where it's either two ways. Either Chad's gonna be, it's your right. And you're gonna have Rey Mysterio be behind him saying, you did such great things, on the mask and whatever, or we'll have the turn of Chad Gable when he becomes like a heel, and attacks him, or well somehow, because remember, part of things that we got with Chad Gable, he's back in WWE, but we also got before we got him appearing the following week at the end of the match, in AAA, besides him telling us who he is and everything, he did say this was not going to be the last time he'll be a luchador in AAA. So I believe the whole thing is because I feel like WWE feels like, we're all crazy about Gable, but I feel like they feel like it's even more bigger in AAA, and I feel like by him not being over there, AAA kind of lost like a really big deal. I feel like the goal now is to have Chad and Mysterio have this whole thing where it's Rey making him earn the right to put the mask back on and to fight on his behalf in AAA because he's a general manager over there now, and he's like, and and then if they want to, they can kind of tie it into Dom and saying, hey, I want you to do something for me that my son never did. Of course, wearing the mask and being a luchador. And they can kind of go like this whole weird, twisty role, with that.
Mm. Well, and we're going to speak about Chad Gable and now his new and we've been down this road before because I feel like WWE missed it the first time of his babyface run, Final Boss, when back when Gunther was the IC champion. The crowd was behind him. I mean, he got a great pop when he came out and did the save. He's going down to do this apology thing, apologizing to everyone. It seems like he's going that babyface role. He went on SmackDown. He went on Raw. I thought he was going to be on SmackDown. Which I feel like that's where he should have went. I feel like I want him on SmackDown to give him a new start. I think they're going to probably take him to Raw because it seems like if you're over, they most likely put you on Raw. But I would like to see him on SmackDown because that gives them a new, fresh start. But this babyface run, if they're going to do a babyface run, go ahead and push it. Give him at least some mid cards. I don't think he has ever won a mid card yet, Final Boss. I love that. Like I say, Penta's been doing great with the IC Championship. Trick Williams has done great with the World Heavyweight Championships, 2 mid card titles that are in great stories right now. I would love to see him go. Him and Trick Williams. Give me Chad Gable and Trick Williams. I think that will be a great match between those two. I feel like those two can have some great chemistry, and it's something new. It's something new, not just for us, for the fans too. I would just love to see him go on SmackDown. Will we see him with a world title or undisputed title? It's very hard to call because you got 2 of the top guys that are both holding these titles. I can see him maybe if the rumors are true later on down the line, if Sami is the one to win next year and go to WrestleMania and win it, maybe he wins it off of Sami. Maybe they start doing the hot potato with the undisputed title next year. Maybe, I don't know. That's something that we'll have to wait and see if that's the direction they're going to go. Hey, go to the EVP Scoop Show to find out if that's true. I'm just speculating, but he will only know that answer to that. But I just feel like this new run with Chad is going to be, they got to do it where the iron is hot. 2, they have to give those opportunities. Like I say, him and Penta, I wouldn't want to see that match because you already had the whole luchador thing. I would love to see him and Trick, but I don't know what they're going to do with Trick. And it seems like they're trying to do the whole thing with Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, and what's the guy name? I cannot think that. I was about to say Ethan Page, but Ricky Saints. I couldn't think of his name. Ricky Saints. It seems like they wanted. I think they're probably going to do a triple threat match. I would not be surprised. But they're saying the number 1 contender will face Trick Williams at Night of Champions. But I'm guaranteed, y'all. I bet somewhere down the line they'll do a triple threat match most likely. Let's read a couple comments before my co-host comes back in here. CJ, shouts out to CJ EVP Show. He's on his YouTube page. Y'all go over there and give him a subscribe. Go like, comment, and give him a couple comments. He's saying champion versus champion in October in Saudi at Crown Jewel. He was talking about for Roman and Cody. Yeah, and like I said, I totally forgot about that PLE. CJ, so thanks for reminding us of that. Greg says, shaking my head, the vision for Judgment Day has yet unfolded. I would say the Judgment Day, it's just not just a Judgment Day. They've been a group for quite some time. It seems like they're more leaning, the story is more about the girls. It seems like JD, they don't even acknowledge him anymore, to be honest with you, Greg. It seems like and the whole thing with Dominic, like I said, I was very shocked he won to get to the next round because and I'm gonna definitely talk about the whole thing with Jay. Because remember, Dominic came out on an interview and was saying that WWE didn't know what to do with him as far as booking, and me and Final Boss had critiqued that and was giving a thoughts about what we thought about that with the whole thing with Dominic Mysterio and his booking. And next thing you know, he advances to the next round. Now, will he win against OBA FEMI? I don't think so. I don't feel like it should be a squash match. Because remember, Rey Mysterio was one of those guys that took on the big guys, and he was the little man taking on the big guys. If you do a story sort of like that and still Oba wins, I'm cool with it. I think this gives Dominic the chance to be in there with someone who we feel like is an upcoming star. I think Dominic, I was really worried about Dominic getting passed by the Oba Femi's Javon Evans and Trick Williams. I mean, they're giving these guys all opportunities, and shouts out to them. I mean, they're still giving them opportunities, Javon's and Trick and Oba's. So I'm very happy of that, especially being a man of color. So I'm very Happy that WWE is doing that. I hope they continue to do that with these three guys. Hoping that they feel like these guys are your future. And keep booking them the way they're booking them. I'm glad they're doing that. All of them have very different styles. Um, and all of them are very young. So shouts out to them on that. So shouts out to WWE for doing that. Speaking of Javon Evans, I was going to talk about Javon Evans going to the semifinals. He's actually going to be taking on Jey Uso. Him and Jey Uso, the back and forth on X is crazy, man. I know how took a liking to Javon Evans, which is very interesting. Kind of maybe I wouldn't say maybe that wasn't the decision on this match, but it's really interesting. I was surprised Javon won this Monday between Seth. I think it was Seth. It was Javon. I'm trying to think of who else it was. It was two more guys. I cannot think of who it was, but I was just totally caught off guard because I was thinking like, okay, Seth is. I was like, well, okay, Seth is winning the King of the Ring. I was like, I already had if we was doing predictions and I was like we was doing like picks, I would have probably lost my title on day one because I was thinking that because they kept teasing Seth and Roman. So I was like, even when Seth won his first match, he put up the one and was teasing Roman. And then this match, when they did this match between him, Javon and the other guys, Javon won. I was like, whoa, okay. That came out of nowhere. But like I say, shouts out to Javon Evans.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Miami talk about Javon because I know Miami's a big Javon fan.
Well, I wouldn't say a big fan, but I do. He's starting to grow on me a little bit. A little bit. I mean, like I was saying before you came in, Roman has took a liking of him. He's still young. He's still developing. I hope he doesn't go down the Kofi Kingston road. Like, and that's no disrespect to Kofi Kingston. I mean, he's a legend in his own. We do Kofi for all the rest Royal Rumble spots. I mean, I think that's what mostly he probably one of the things he's known for. Kofi Mania is what he's known for, too. But I feel like he just is so much more than that. I feel like Kofi crawls so Javon can run, and I feel like hopefully WWE. Before you came in here, I was like, OBA FEMI and Javon and Trick are still getting pushed. I mean, think about it. These guys was getting pushed soon when they came up. Both of them had great, opportunities in Royal Rumble. Both of them had great top opportunities at Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania. I mean, we're like almost in the middle of the year, and these guys are still getting pushed. Normally, you don't see guys of that color. 3 guys still pushed, still getting booked well. I cannot lie. I still love the booking of Oba. I know a lot of people was worried about when he lost against Brock Lesnar. I know, even though Yachty was there with him, it seemed like they wanted to break up Yachty and Trick Williams. I'll talk about that when we talk about Smackdown here, because this is our last topic about Raw. But
well, I didn't get that. Well, okay,
man,
well, shit, you serious? Okay,
man,
yeah. Boom, the boom.
It didn't come off a little S to me. Maybe I read it wrong, but I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But I like I said, I like Javon of what he's doing right now. I'm glad he's being pushed, especially for him being a high flyer type of guy. I think that goes with his character of who he is. Javon is just he's that next star, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people that are coming up that you can put them with when it comes down to with him of what's next with him. I mean, it's interesting to see Final Boss. Do you have any thoughts about Javon going to the next round and taking on Jey Uso in the next round of the King of the Ring. Even he
Oh,
said his name would be King Bun. I know. He right about that.
I don't think he's gonna win that. So I think we.
Really?
I don't think we're gonna get that. And I mean, hey, and shouts out to Denise Arcedo. I know CJ DVP or DWE. Well, EVP and he's with the DWE. Is I know he's a big fan of Denise Arcedo. I listened to some stuff with her and busted open with her and her host guy you love, Mark Henry, and she was like saying like, let's be real, like you really, like we kind of already know who's gonna be king of the ring. It's either gonna be really OBA FEMI or Jade. So like there's no other like person in there to be king of the ring because they're not built enough. Like, do you really think they're gonna have like a Javon Evans be king of the ring? Like, king of the ring is different now. Well, hold on. King of the ring is different now. It's not like how it was a few years ago when you were just kind of king of the ring, and if you booked it correctly, it was over. Because of course, remember we had my favorite king of the ring run, which was Booker T, and he included his wife Charmel into it, and of course, also I love when William Regal was king of the ring.
I'm surprised you like when your boy Baron Corbin was the king of the ring. I'm surprised you didn't like that.
I did in my headphones design. I did, but it's not something that's memorable. When I talk memorable, I think Booker T and I think William Regal.
Regal.
But because King of the Ring, it's an old school thing.
Yeah.
But now they have changed it. But we were still doing that. I'm like, man, it's anyone's game. Anyone could be king of the ring. Because remember, with Kofi Kingston was king. It was just king, right? But now it's different. Now when you win King of the Ring, yeah, you get the crown, the bragging rights, but you also get a title shot now. With that element being added, like, we gotta be real, man. We are not gonna have, as great as he is, but he's still a young guy. His character is still developed. So I'm talking about Javon Evans here, and his character screams upper mid card guy, and that could change in a couple years, but he's still new. I mean, the guy just kind of got there, right? But right now, I don't see him actually going into a main card feud with someone. I mean, and look at what he has. I mean, now it'd be different if we had someone champion that was like a Gunther or someone. But hell, we got Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, which is two of the top guys in the company as freaking champions. Could you imagine if they had like Javon Evans versus Roman Reigns like a main event of PLE? You'd be like, would you watch it? Yeah, you'd be like, huh? Like, really? We doing that? Could you imagine the exchange? Could you imagine the promo war between Roman Reigns and Javon Evans? Like, we could make it happen because it's wrestling. But I feel like
I'm not gonna lie. It
won't be believable.
This is our fault, Final Boss, because
it wouldn't be believable though.
He needed to go against these undercard guys.
Correct.
So it's our fault.
Correct. But we're talking about having like a random guy, doing that on like, I'm talking about people do that like on a TV show, but to have, someone actually go to the King of the Ring, go through the whole tournament like Javon Evans, and then go for a title match against a Roman or like a Cody. Like to me, that would be kind of far fetched. And I'm just using him as an example. It's the same thing as like, well, we know he's not gonna go forward now, but like LA Knight, do you really think he would be able to, even a Sami Zayn or even a Carmelo, like those guys are not booked as of right now, because the booking can change. We've seen that many times, but as of right now, they are not booked to be in that picture. But someone like OBA FEMI, he is booked to be that way. He is booked to be a top guy. That's why we had him against Brock Lesnar, right? That's why we had that. Jey Uso. Jey Uso kind of floats around, but he's also in what? He's in a main card story with the Bloodline. He had interactions with Roman. The fact that he is back with the Bloodline in the story, it puts him technically as, as a I won't say a top. Well, he is pretty top guy because the guy is in all the commercials. To get, he's doing things right now. He may not be, the best option for a champion because we know the work at the. But as far as how he's booked, how he's placed, how he's loved, he deserves to be right there. That's not how we feel for some of these other competitors. So no, I don't. I think I think that if you were to pick someone like Javon Evans, so in King of the Ring, which is now going to get you a guaranteed title shot. I don't think Miami will be champion for DWE anymore because it's just not it's just not feasible. I mean, it's just not.
Uh,
Now,
I had to let one of y'all win the predictions on that day, man. My boy Roman can't do that, man. My boy Roman can't go out like that,
oh
man.
jeez.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I was very shocked, and we're speaking about SmackDown now. I mean, Jay
Mhm.
Uso did win, move on to the next round. I was thinking LA Knight was gonna win. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this was a shock. It caught me off guard, Final Balls. I mean, I
Mhm.
didn't see this coming when you and like I said, yeah, Jimmy was out there, but he didn't interfere. It was more solo, but he didn't touch LA Knight either. He more touched no, I think he did. I think he did spike LA Knight or someone, and then that's how Jay um came over and Royce Keys did a power move, and then Jake came over, pushed him off, and then did the frog splash, and then got the 1, 2, 3 on LA Knight, which probably bleed into some of this stuff that's gonna go on. I think LA Knight's gonna turn heel, Final Balls. I got some feeling that they might turn him heel.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
because I feel like the whole thing is he's so frustrated that it might push him to that a heel persona, which might be a good thing for him because we haven't got that from him or that
Oh,
side
well,
from
that's
him.
not good. That is copy
You
and
don't think
paste
so?
because that's what Sami Zayn character is. He's being
Well, I
pushed
mean,
so.
hey,
Oh my
I
god.
mean, he has been saying, which I don't know where he getting that from. He's like Roman hadn't been winning none of his matches since he been champion. I'm like by himself. I'm like, no, that's a lie. Roman been winning every. I was surprised he ain't been having no interference. I'm like, well, this must be new. I'm like, well, I like this. I kind of like. I'm like, I really rather them to keep doing that because it's more interesting on, Now Roman's doing it on his own. What is the opponent excuse? Because no one's coming out, but it seems like LA Knight is choosing the brain that Roman's not doing that. He's doing it with help. And I'm like, well, either he's blind or he's just thinking about the old days because I'm like, well, Roman been winning a lot by himself lately. So I don't know, is that gonna play into a lot of things that's going on? Like I said, I do believe that Jay is going to go on to the next to the finals. Who will he face in the finals? I don't know. That's the thing. If it's Dominic Mysterio, then I'm with you. I'm on the same boat as you. But if it's Jay and OBA FEMI, then what you do then, final boss? I mean, come on. I mean, Jay and Oba?
I mean, again, I mean, like, hey, if it was a different time where we didn't have the whole title shot, I could see someone like a Dominant being King of the Ring. I think it'll fit really well on his character because how his character, how Liv Morgan character is together. Oh, it'll be the ultimate annoying couple with with King Dominate. Like, it'll be a great thing. But here we go again, once again. Now the King of the Ring gets you that guaranteed title shot. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
much kind of like a Money in the Bank thing. If you think
Yeah.
about it, we get that
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed shot. As remember,
Mm-hmm.
there's only three times you can get a guaranteed shot in WWE now. That is what? That is if
Royal
you win
Rumble,
the Royal Rumble,
Money in the
if you
Bank,
win the
and
Money in the
King of the
Bank,
Ring.
and now King of the Ring. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, hey, that just tells you yourself.
Which I like I said, I do like that WWE has done that because it gives a person more opportunities than trying to get the championship or be the champion. On that, like I said, congratulations to Jey Uso. Like I said, it just caught me off guard. I didn't think that was going to happen at all. To be honest with you, Final Boss. Speaking of Trick Williams, I was telling you that, and it seems like they're going into the direction of Trick Williams versus Melo versus Ricky Saints. But like I said, Trick came out and shouts out to the little kid that was wearing the little fur coat, dressed up like Trick Williams. That was a cute thing. I did like that. Trick Williams was actually wearing a different coat. Final Boss, he was wearing a jean coat, so wasn't wearing the faux coat. This time, Final Boss, he was actually wearing something different. I know you're happy about that because I know that's your man.
Yeah.
But he came out with Little Yachty. Lil Yachty was trying to hype up the crowd. He cut off Lil Yachty. He was like, hold up. He said he was upset that he said he didn't win the match to advance to King of the Ring. Because Yachty was like, hey, it didn't matter. You know, hey, you're still United States champion. You're going to be one of the greatest United States champion, you know, things like that. But Trick was like, no, you know, I lost, man. I'm going to be honest, I lost. But he was like, you know what? That only gives me opportunity to now make this United States title more important. And that's when right after he said that, you had Ricky Saints music hit. And Ricky Saints, before he even get the word out, you had Carmelo Hayes music hit. Carmelo Hayes pushed Ricky Saints out the way and came down there and started telling him, hey, when are you going to defend that title? Are you going to challenge anybody, or what do we got to do to get a number one contender spot? And Ricky Saints, you know, he made a great point. He said, I already beat you, which they are 1-1. They will be facing each other this upcoming Friday, where they will actually get a number one contender spot at Night of Champions, which I would think that will be between Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Saints, unless they do something weird where they try to make it. I still think they're going to try to do something weird, a real ending where it's going to have to end, and it ends up that the GM of SmackDown is going to probably have to make it a triple threat match, Final Balls, and this is how you maybe have Trick still hold on to the championship after Night of Champions, and you do Carmelo Hayes a little later, because I feel like they may say Carmelo Hayes and Trick to SummerSlam, because remember, they're saying they're trying to make this SummerSlam card be almost close to WrestleMania. I think that's maybe a direction they may go, Final Balls. But like I said, I did like this little segment between Trick, Mello, and Ricky Saints. But I think this will end up as a triple threat match, Final Balls, between these three at Night of Champions, because it's going to be Mello versus Ricky Saints this Friday. But I think some kind of way it'll be a triple threat match, Final Balls. You got any thoughts about your man Trick Williams and who he might be facing next at Night of Champions?
No. I mean, I would say, hey, we can't if we don't get him and Carmelo. I mean, I would say do him and maybe I know it's far fetched, but you know, him and a Javon would have been nice. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, but you know,
yeah,
instead of a
they
Javon's
have had
but you know,
some matches.
Javon is technically on Raw, but you know they don't
Mm-hmm,
care.
mm-hmm.
I also would have liked for him to. Maybe, and I know, you know, Ole Knight has fresh concerns creative wise. Of course, he's not going to be king of the ring. You know, maybe run some, you know, back with with him and LA Knight. I think LA
Mm.
Knight, you know, because he fits into that, upper mid card picture. You know, I would like to see that interchange between those two because they both got those very charismatic style uh personas. Like sometimes with and I know this is gonna be a little bit of a hard comparison, but just kind of see it for a second. Like when I see LA Knight, sometimes it kind of gives me a similar vibe of a gimmick of Christian. You remember when Christian used to come out and he would call people like the peeps?
Yeah. I remember the piece. Yeah,
Hmm.
I remember that.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah,
peace.
and he would hit his chest a lot of times. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what he reminded me of.
I mean, yeah, I could see it coming off as that. Yeah, like I said, I would love to see what direction they're gonna go with this whole Trick Williams. I just think they could save it for SummerSlam. I feel like they don't need to rush it. You can, because they still got Ricky Saints there front of ball, so I feel like they're still going to do something with that. I don't think they can just. I don't want them to move away from it right away, but I mean, who knows? I mean, they could do because they love doing those like big matches even in Saudi too. I mean, hey, we could have Melo versus Trick and Saudi, but I would think that they would have saved it for SummerSlam. Um, Speaking of SmackDown Final Boss, once SmackDown did come on, we did learn that Rhea Ripley did suffer a knee injury. It actually happened in Paris. In Paris Final Boss, I don't know if it did happen on the Paris PLE or was it just one of the live events or what. But I haven't still seen nothing yet or no updates so far. Maybe something has came out while we've been online, but so far I haven't seen anything. I don't know what this does for the women's title because right now they might can just probably keep her off until SummerSlam, but I think I don't know. I mean, normally, we don't get champions, doing a lot of matches anyway, but maybe they'll probably hold off with her until maybe SummerSlam because I feel like it'd probably be her and Charlotte facing each other. Maybe if she's okay to walk and get around. Just have her do a lot of promos and maybe build up the match between SummerSlam. But SummerSlam is so freaking long, Final Boss. It'll be crazy if they do that. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do that. With her, we send our best wishes to you, Rhea. Hope you get well. Hopefully, it's not too bad where you miss time. I'm just more worried about is they going to make her because we know one time Rhea has vacated the title once before. I hope she doesn't have to vacate the title again. But yeah, best wishes to her. Final Boss, you got any thoughts about this Rhea knee injury update? If not, we will move on to our next topic.
When you told me that news, I was like, not surprised, man. I feel like Rhea and Liv Morgan are prone to injuries. And I made that joke with you offline. I was like, well, it's funny because you know we have people like Rhea and Liv Morgan who've been kind of injury prone. But we have someone like Jade and someone like Nia Jax where they injure others, but they don't get injured. um, which to me is crazy because you would think, hey, well, Nia Jax is more susceptible to injuries because of her size. So easier for the misstep, land incorrectly, etc. You would think that Jay Cargo is more susceptible to injuries because, newer in the ring, when things happen as far as, last minute, quick second, calls, and when you got to fall a certain way, she may not know how to react to it because of lack of experience, so more prone to injuries. But no, it's actually the opposite where they can't injure others, which usually right now is actually pretty minor injuries now, thank God. But their injuries is pretty like limited. Like we don't really see too many injuries. So it's just kind of ironic. With Rhea, she's been getting like a number of injuries lately now. So it sucks for her, especially that we had the title change. So I don't know what we're gonna do with it. I wonder if she's gonna keep that title because hey, it is a knee injury. Usually when a knee injury, you're out for a few months. How long was Seth Rollins out for? Out for a few months, right? So I would only,
I think like 6 months. I think if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, a number of months. Usually at least 3 months. So they're probably gonna vacate that title once again. Under Rhea. So they'll probably have if they're smart, I guess they'll have the King of the Ring. Sorry, the Queen of the Ring kind of dictate that where the title is vacant and whoever wins Queen of the Ring is just a new champion.
Maybe, yeah. Speaking of Queen of the Ring, Charlotte did win her round to move on to the next round. She will be facing, like I said earlier today, she will be facing Liv Morgan. I'm not surprised. It's been way overdue. I feel like Charlotte should have. I don't think she's ever been in a tournament until now. I could be mistaken, but and I mean Charlotte's been calling herself Queen Charlotte, and I think this will fit perfect for her. Finally, she gets the crown to actually say that she's queen. I wonder is she wins it, is it going to come off as like a heelish gimmick or just like one of those personas like, you know, I was always queen, now I'm officially your queen. I can't wait to see how that character development is going to be for her, especially now fans are cheering her, but it'll be very interesting for Charlotte Flair. Shouts out to Charlotte Flair for moving on to the next round. Like I said, I have her winning. I did have Seth Rollins win, but that dark horse is out of the picture. I'm pretty sure they're going to go with Charlotte, but without Liv Morgan having no one to face, I did been hearing rumors that it could be Io Sky because Liv doesn't have no one to face. I did see some rumors that they want to do Jade versus Charlotte later on down the line. So, but now this Rhea news came up. I think they're going to probably scrap that, put that on the hold for a while, and they might going to just put the title on Charlotte, depending on how bad Rhea Ripley is and what's going on with her. Like I say, I hope it's not too bad, but shouts out to Charlotte Flair for moving on to the next round. Final Boss, do you got any thoughts about Charlotte moving on to the Queen of the Ring? I mean, being the Queen of the Ring, finally winning the crown. Final Boss.
Oh, you got Slam in here. Hi guys. But shout out to after Slam. But I don't think her character needs it though. I feel like Charlotte is her character with Alexa has been so good. She's strong enough where she doesn't need it. She doesn't. And I also fear that if she does go ahead and to win Queen of the Ring, would that put her and Alexa? I feel like that would ultimately push the breakup. Which, you know, they had tease and pull and tease and pull. It's giving me real Judgment Day vibes where they kind of tease it and they pull back for it. Tease and pull back from it. But if they were to actually go ahead and pull the trigger and actually have that whole breakup because she's going for the championship, because she's going for Queen of the Ring, I didn't worry about the placement of Alexa Bliss and you know, in the roster after that, because I don't see where she really fits. I feel like they will put her more along with the lines of like a Chelsea Green or with Blake Monroe, which right now isn't a great thing.
Yeah, like I said, I have been hearing rumors that, because like I said, and we said it earlier here on the podcast. Right now, Liv Morgan doesn't have no one to face, and you still got a couple of Raw people in the tournament. So I would not be surprised if Io comes out to be Queen of the Ring. She's came pretty close a couple times. But like I said, I would love to be finally Charlotte. You know, she's been calling herself Queen all this time. Why not? I would love to see that character development with her. Final Boss. It'll be very interesting to see far as her character and how she's going to go. Speaking of Charlotte, I know in the match between it was Charlotte. Jade was in this match. I know everyone, the viral clip of Jade's wig coming off. Came off almost dead near in this match. Jay did acknowledge that. But after the match was over, they did a match between Michin and BFAB, and they did face Tiffany and Chelsea Green, which it seems like they're trying to do the same almost. And I think CJ said this a couple of weeks back, or maybe last week in our podcast, where they're trying to do the same thing with Chelsea Green and Tiffany, what they did with Alexa and Charlotte. They did the match. Like I say, it was a great match. After the match, Jade and B-Fab came in and beat down Tiffany and Chelsea Green. But right after, it did seem interesting that Jade picked up the United States title for a little bit, looked at it, and dropped it back down. And I was like, well, I wonder is this the title she will go for next, which will probably be good for her because it kind of keeps her out of the main card title picture for a while, which is okay because you do want to give other people chances. Like I said, we don't know what's going to go on with this Rhea thing. That could have happened. They might, like I say, this Rhea thing could maybe change the whole thing. They might wait off on the JADE United States title. Might try to make Me Chin or BFAB go for it. Who knows? Like I say, she didn't actually hold it up. She just, looked at it and throw it back down to Tiffany. But like I said, it's very interesting on where they're going to go with this angle. I would like to see Jay go for the United States title. I think she could do wonders for it. Like I say, United States title. I think Jillian didn't have maybe one of the best runs. I love what they're doing with Tiffany. Tiffany's doing really well with it. I feel like that kind of elevates it. I feel like the IC title has been elevated between when it came from Becky and AJ Lee. Now I love Soul. Soul's doing a great job with it. I feel like they put it on the right young person. I just don't know what they're going to do with Blake. They need to go ahead and put her on camera. Make her start having matches. Writing the diary thing, even though I know that's her character and I love Blake Monroe, but we got to get her on. That's not a behind the backstage scene. Get her on there to have a match. Let her start having matches. Let her start. We got a couple of interactions, but we got to get her back on there a little bit more. I don't know when they're going to start letting her actually have a match. I'm talking about Blake Monroe, but I would love to see that. You got her saying that she's going to go after all of these people. Maybe she causes Tiffany the match, and that's how maybe Jay wins the title. I mean, that could be an interesting story. Maybe she causes Rhea the title, and you have her costing people titles. I just don't want just that for her, but that could be interesting. But I still want her to be in some matches too. You got to get her in the ring. You do need those ladies, those bodies, especially for SmackDown. Even though we're down to 2 hours, I feel like you got to put her in there a little bit more. Use her and matches a little bit more. I think that's something that we will have to see without the time. Speaking of SmackDown, like I said, I did love the Solo and the Jacob promo that we got. Man, very interesting promo. Jacob came on SmackDown. First, he interacted with Jimmy and Jay. Was saying that they were saying, "What are you doing here?" He said the OTC sent me here. He was like, they was like, well, Roman already called the play, which I found interesting because Jimmy and Jay seemed like they was not in the loop of this, which I was like, I wonder, is that true? Did Roman send them? But once they did interact, Solo and Jacob did interact with each other. They did. Solo said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Roman told me to come here and said it's time to come home." And I love Sears Solo. Not saying, I don't have a problem with him being silly. I just love when he's so serious because I buy into that character. And I love this character work of what Solo did and what he said to Jacob. He said, "Why would I do that? Look what he did to you. He made you get down on one knee, like a dog." He was just saying basically some of the stuff that people were saying on the internet about they felt about this whole thing about Jacob and Roman. I know Jacob, I think I did read some word that he was dealing with a few injuries, and that's why we haven't seen him in a lot of matches. But I did find it really interesting that he did say that if Roman sends me to you, I will come for you. And he said, well, come for me. He said, but hey, tell Roman, if he wants me to come home, tell him to come and do it himself. Like I say, I love Sears Solo. and great word from him. I feel like I was buying more into the stuff he was saying because he did do most of the talking more than Jacob. But I did like this promo from Solo and Jacob 5-2. Like I said, with that, I know Final Boss is back. I don't know if she wanted to talk about D Jacob and Solo because I don't think she probably seen that promo from them. Do you want to speak on that before we talk about our last topic of the day, Final Boss, for SmackDown?
So you're right. I did not see it, but I did hear about it.
Mhm.
So I mean, I guess so it kind of plays into what into what I talked about him about Roman going through the entire family and all this stuff because technically Roman already did that. I mean, Roman
Mhm.
he already did that doing what during during
Netflix.
the Netflix debut and he beat Solo when we had Rock pretty much make um his last bloodline appearance and put the whole follow on him.
Mhm.
So technically, he's supposed to come back home and serve Roman because now we find out, you know, later down the line now that it actually was a tribal combat match and he's supposed to serve Roman like Jacob. So I wanted
Yeah.
him to go ahead and go over there and do that. And I think that was smart and hopefully WWE can kind of bring that into and said, hey, you never served me. And then he kind of can bring that whole thing and talk about Jacob
I
and
think
bring
that's
that
gonna
up.
be the story. I think that will be the story. There, but
Well, if
like
it
I said, I
is,
love
then
the
hold
resistance
on.
to Jacob
Now,
though.
if it is, then I need WWE to go. Well, TKO and WWE to go ahead and send me my check. I mean, my Final Boss Baby 2B1YCFO on X because hey, this is crazy. This is a problem now. Hey, remember, we talked about this earlier on the broadcast about Raw Dog and about how the company was moving basically money hungry. Well, hey, we also know about what happened, that we read that they was going to have bots going around social media giving out copyright strikes. Well, hey, how about I go ahead and send you guys one because hey, you guys are taking my creative plans. I mean,
And
so I mean, it's
unless I think it's just we are just so
no, just
I
give
think
me
we're
my
so
flowers. I don't want to
knowledgeable
hear it.
about the wrestling
No,
business
I don't
and
want to
history
hear it. I know, give me my flower. No flower,
because
please.
they did take a couple of ideas what we've been saying on here, and I was like, man, you know what? Either they
You mean
listen
our
or we just listen
ideas
too much.
or
I don't
my
know.
ideas? Because I'm gonna need y'all to go
I
ahead
don't know.
and give me, give me, give me, give me,
Um,
give me, give me, give me, give me.
Last topic for today. We're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Gunther this upcoming Friday. Guess who's going to be the special guest referee? Sami Zayn. We've been getting some stuff about Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was in the back with Johnny Gargano and his wife. And he said she said you need to go out there and say something. He said, and he replied to Johnny Gargano like he said it. He actually went out there. Like you said, I think you said this to me off of air or you said it probably on air where the crowd, he did acknowledge the crowd, how they was acting and how they was and stuff. Which I found out, like I said, I think I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie to you, Sam is a heel now. Even though he's coming off as he wants to be a good guy, I think he's accepted, even though now the title's off of him, the crowd still is not. I wouldn't say they're not booing him no
Well,
more, but they're
that's
not
not.
behind him no more.
Hold on, because you're gonna lose it. No, he's not accepted. He is a delusional
Mm-hmm.
baby face. He's delusional. Where he
Mm.
still thinks he's a baby face and he still thinks he's the last good guy because
Yeah, yeah,
he's helping out Cody Rhodes, but he's not a good guy. As far as his character, because he slapped Cody Rhodes. He's whining, he's complaining, he's really doing this. As far as the fan reaction, that has nothing to do with character work. They just want him because the Carmelo stuff. But the whole, but take that away. This is a guy who's complaining about everything. He put his hands on Cody Rhodes, so it's a delusional heel. Is what his
yeah.
character is.
But do you think that whole thing when he won the title from Carmelo Hayes, that's what made them probably maybe push this character? to what we're seeing now today. Because
Yeah, I
he's
don't
not
think
even.
this was never the plan. Like the
Yeah,
plan
I
was
think so
to
too.
because he was a fan favorite and it
Yeah,
backfired, so they had to do a
pivot.
switch and they turned it into they pivoted and now they turned him into this delusional um there's this delusional heel where he thinks it's a baby face, but he's not acting like the Sami Zayn. Like the whole story, and I think Cody Rhodes put it is like, no, this is not the Sami Zayn that I know you're whining, you're complaining, they're booing you. The whole thing is that Sami is not saying anything wrong. He thinks he's still a good guy because he's helping Roman. He thinks he's still the same old goofy, Sami Zayn that came out doing the weird dances with the hat. And he's not that anymore. Like he doesn't see that he's not that Sami Zayn anymore. Like that's the
Mhm.
idea of his character.
And I love that promo between Cody and Sami, man. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, that was some great work between those two guys. Like I said, I love the slap. It came out of nowhere. I was like, ooh, I mean, God, this is. I was really interested. I was like, oh man, I'm glued
Well,
in.
well,
They
well,
draw me
well,
in.
well, well, you're like, ooh, it's a slap, but for me, I'm looking at a different piece of that because, yeah, he did a slap, so it's delusional, which he is, like I said, a delusional heel. But also, the other element is that is he really the heel? Because it's kind of a weird thing when he's a delusional heel where he thinks, hey, I'm still a good guy, and he's really
Mhm.
not the guy he's complaining and slapping. But everything that he's doing that is heelish, is done because it's reaction. Like he slapped Cody because what did Cody say to him? Well, I'm sorry, you're never gonna be that long as I have it. So he kind of deserved that slap. Hey, he's called out Cody Rhodes because every time he says Cody Rhodes, he doesn't, get the respect back. So I mean, so he's really still technically doing babyface stuff, but is not being treated well for being a babyface. So he's acting like a heel. So it's a very weird dynamic
Yeah, yeah. I think this match is gonna end
because the true
where.
heel really in it is really Cody Rhodes. Because Cody Rhodes to say all these crazy
Mm,
things to him, yeah, because he's saying these weird things to him, like I'm sorry, well you're not gonna be champion as long as I'm champion. He's also, pretty much in it for himself, even though Sami Zayn has, is saving him, and he's over there, calling out, well, not calling out, but he's responding back to Sami Zayn by saying, look at you now, you're different. People are booing you. You're not this. So I'm like, who's really the heel here? Is it really Sammy who
I feel
is
like it's
this
Sammy to
confused
me.
ill, or is it really, or because everything he's done is justified? He hit Cody Rhodes because of what he said. He's calling out Cody Rhodes because they're supposed to be friends, and he's out there saving him.
Mhm.
And Cody
Well,
Rhodes is not
and
good. Is
I
not
love
good.
that.
Doing
I
bad.
love that part where he was like, "Hey, I was the very first person when you won at WrestleMania to come out."
Correct.
And
Before John Cena and everyone.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he named John, Randy, all of them, and I was like, "Oh, that's very interesting." Because most of those people, and I feel like what Sammy was saying, and that did feel like what he said was true because most of those people that Cody has, who was holding him up, most of those guys have turned on him. Randy turned on him.
Well,
KO's turned on him.
well,
John
well, well,
turned
here-
on him.
well, here's the thing is that now I thought you'd be more surface. Now you're just too surface because one of the things that Sami Zayn, yes, he said, how many of those guys are your friends now? And he said,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, yeah.
but hold on. But he said, hey, is it those guys' fault? Or is it your fault? Which is a weird
Hmm.
thing, but it's technically the way they're playing it now is like, okay, it's Cody is the issue, but it's really not because we all know that John Cena turned on him because of that weird rock stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's not like his friends, turned on him because of Cody, but now they're trying to play it back like it's Cody is the issue, which I guess they're trying to say Cody is the actual heel, and all along the real good guy is really Sami Zayn. It's Cody that's the heel, and it's
Hmm.
making Sami Zayn appear to be a bad guy. To masquerade, the real bad guy is freaking Cody Rhodes.
And I wonder because I'm thinking like, are they going to try to probably do a triple threat match and that Night of Champions, which would be very interesting because I would thought that
Well,
Sammy
I
was
think see
probably
that's
one
the
of those
thing
people
is
want to
that
go in.
you're too focused. I mean, you're focused on on champion, like the feud between at least between Cody and Sami Zayn. Yeah, they're throwing the idea of the championship in there because because yes, a couple times, Sammy just said he needed a championship match. Look at Cody, look at him. He's champion, he's not. And of course, what we got last night with Cody said, "You're not gonna be champion as long as I'm champion." But I think the idea for WWE is not to have uh Sammy to even get a championship match. Well, he might get a match. He's not going to be champion. I think the idea is to determine who's the real heel here. And I think if they play it right, it will ultimately come to fruition that it's actually Cody that's the actual true heel,
I
and
mean,
and it's never been Sammy. There's a whole story surrounding that. I don't think it's nothing to do with champion. They're not going to
really.
give Sami Zayn. They're not going to give Sami Zayn the fucking title. Like, come on, like,
Well, I
it's
know
Sami
they're not
Zayn.
gonna give him
They
the
just
title, but I would think that they was gonna set up a match. But I mean, that would be probably a weird way to show
well,
to
they'll have a match.
make
Well, they'll have a
Cody so
match.
heel.
They'll have a match. But the whole point of the match is to turn out it will be the ending of the match because you're either going to have Cody cheat to win, or you'll have um or you'll have Sami Zayn almost win, and then but Cody cheats and then Cody beats him down and now he's a true heel. Like it's weird stuff like that, like they would
Yeah,
do.
I can see him. I didn't think about that. I was thinking that they probably maybe do it to try to make it be a couple fillers until maybe Punk comes back. That's what I was thinking. I was looking at it in that aspect. But I can see him doing that. That would be quite interesting. I mean, hey, you got Punk coming back. Maybe Punk will point out those flaws when he come back. And some of his promo. We know Punk is really great in doing stuff like that and pointing things out like that. It'll be very interesting if they go that direction and Punk um shows Cody those error of his ways. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. This Friday I feel like there's gonna be something that's gonna go on between those guys. Shouts out to everyone, like I say, once again for joining us here on DWE Radio, episode 22, Americans Glory Unleashed. We definitely talked about all the stuff that happened on Raw and news that
What
came
the
out.
hell is American Glory Unleashed? The fuck is that?
Well, it's about Chad Gable because Chad Gable was unleashed his glory because he's now. I think Chad Gable's gonna be. They got to do it
Well,
right, man. They got to do it
man,
right.
you
They
get
got to.
man. You gotta love Miami's titles to these damn things, man.
You
My
got right.
God. Oh Jesus
Nobody's never gonna
Christ.
think of what I think of.
Oh
That's why
jeez.
DW Radio we're so unique. Don't get jealous. Oh, now her leaving. How you gonna leave the studio? You know what? The disrespect. Y'all guys, thank you guys for joining us. Sorry it was a long show. We actually both came on at 6 o'clock today, so that's why we did the run off a little longer today. But thank you guys for being patient with us. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you made it all the way to the end. Please come and follow us on X. My name is Miami the Great 305 on X. You can come and follow our company page. That's DWE TV on X. Also, you can follow DWE TV on Twitch and DWE Radio on Twitch. Also, you can follow us on YouTube. That's Talk It Up Podcast on YouTube. Please go like and subscribe. Go comment on YouTube. Shouts out to everyone coming by. Slam said he has a big show tomorrow, so join him tomorrow, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where he will be doing his podcast. Shouts out to After the Slam. And right after Slam, after he gets off at 4 o'clock, right after that, you can join CJ, the EVP. Let me find him here. He's coming. We had a lot of good comments here. Join CJ EVP. He will be coming on 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where he begin his scoops. So if you want to get some inside scoops or some spoilers, go to his show at 6 o'clock where he will be answering all the questions that you want him to answer on Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join Greg on Monday, him and Cal. Shouts out to Greg. Thank you for stopping by. Him and Cal on Monday will be going live. They'll be going back to their original time. That's 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the rundown, where they'll be actually running down the Raw card and give you their thoughts about what they think will possibly happen that night on Raw. That's 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then rejoin CJ EVP later on that night at 11:30. He will be doing the EVP recaps on DWE TV, where you can join us, or you can join him and hear his recaps on that. And then Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's Inside the NFL Mind of Miami. That's right. I will be giving you the updated news about what happened with the NFL schedules. We'll go over scheduled bets. I think I talk about trades, signings, releasings, just to get everyone prepared for the NFL season this year before me and CJ show returns for season 2 for NFL recaps with CJ. That will come on Tuesday, and we'll take the slot of Inside the NFL Mind. But don't worry, Inside the NFL Mind will return on those Thursdays of the NFL season, where I will be talking about the Thursday game. Yes, I will come on at 6 o'clock, and we will be reviewing the Thursday games. I will be talking about bets, the games, something I will predict. Not week 1, but after week 1, I will give you guys my top 5 teams. What was the game of the week for that week? It'll be something that we will do that will be very new on Inside the NFL Mind. Like I said, we'll talk about some jackpots, some NETDs on there, some prop bets with you guys. That will only be on Thursday. I will put that QR code for me and CJ's Discord, so you guys get ready for that on Thursday once the NFL season starts. We're 14 weeks away from that. Wednesday, I don't think it's this Wednesday. It could be, but I could be wrong. I don't think CJ's prediction show is this Wednesday, but it could be. But at 7 o'clock, at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because he's coming on a little early because he's going to be doing 2 shows in one. It will be for the NXT American Bash. They will be doing predictions, and he will be doing the Saudi predictions for Night of Champions predictions. I'm thinking it's this week. I could be wrong. I could be off. My weeks are off, so please forgive me, guys, if I'm saying the schedule wrong. But if it's not this Wednesday, it'll be next Wednesday. He will come on at 6 o'clock. But right after that, it will be the debut show of Queens of WWE. That's going to be Cal's show. You can catch that every Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be the debut of Cal's show, where he will be giving you his thoughts about the women of WWE. It doesn't matter if they're going to be in NXT, SmackDown, Raw, probably AA, probably TNA. You never know. You got to come and see. He will give you his thoughts about what he thinks about the booking and stuff like that. Just really running down his thoughts about how he feels about the women's division. That's our new show, Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we're right back Thursday with the EVP show at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. He will be going over TNA's recap on Thursday. And then Friday, if you don't catch Slam Friday, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I don't think he will have a show this Friday. It's every now and then, but it won't probably be this Friday. But you can catch CJ later on that night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where he will be discussing Smackdown. And then we're right back to Saturday, where you can catch episode 22, DWE Radio, and you guys can catch us again. Shouts out to everyone. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping by. I guess Final Boss wasn't here to say her radio part because she hasn't came back. And I tried to stall for her. Look at that. See? But shouts out to everyone. Thank you guys for stopping by. Like I say, please follow us on all platforms. Please follow my co-host, Final Boss Baby. CFO, that's 2 B's 1 Y CFO on X. Please give her a follow too. And thank you guys for checking us out on Spotify. That's Spotify. You go to Spotify, type in DWE Radio. We're up to 22 episodes, so you can catch from 1 through now 21, because 22 won't be on there yet. But 1 through 21 is all available to you on Spotify. But about the time you listen to this episode 22, it will be available to you on Spotify. So go over there to Spotify and check us out on Spotify. Thanks to everyone who's been checking us out on Spotify and listening to us on Spotify. And give us a follow on Spotify. Check us out. Thank you guys for listening to DWE Radio, the radio that's not on the radio.